We are top of the league, said we are top of the league. Well, I love to sing that. And yeah, you know what? I know there's people out there going, oh, don't get a trophy for being top of the league. No, but I'd still rather be top than not be top. And may I just say, if you don't enjoy a weekend like this one, it's probably not your sport, mate. If you can't enjoy, well, because it wasn't just that we got past a really good Crystal Palace side. It wasn't just that we once again controlled the game and there was never really any anxiety in it. George Graham got to watch, and some of the commentary and some of the post-match things I've seen have gone, oh, George Graham would have been really bored watching that. I don't know if he would. I don't know if George Graham is your go-to for exciting football. A lot of people have rewritten history to say that, the George Graham era was full of verve and vigour. It wasn't. It was, we had one of the brightest talents in English football playing in a number 7 shirt, having to track back all the time, watching long balls go over him to attacking forwards, big lumps. And it wasn't any different in George Graham's era. We had Rocastle and we had the reincarnation of Rocastle, but we got a job done. And there's obviously a hangover after a Champions League week. You saw that. Liverpool on Saturday. First things first, I want to say Sunderland beating Chelsea. You go into these weekends thinking there's going to be the odd shock. There's going to be a surprise or two. When Chelsea went 1-0 up after 4 minutes, Garnacho, I think that's his first goal for Chelsea. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. When they went 1-0 up in 4 minutes, you're thinking, oh yeah, this will be an easy victory for Chelsea. So for Sunderland to win it in the way they did at the death at Stamford Bridge, collect 3 points. I've not been factoring Chelsea into my title predictions, and I think now no one is. Not that they're doing terribly badly. Football changes quickly. I get all this. This is not me sitting here saying it's done. Far from it. What it is, though, is me saying we are doing a lot better. The top 4 does not look like anyone thought it would. There you go. That's what predictions are for. But Arsenal currently top of the league. We are top of the league. Chelsea, after that defeat at home, is their 3rd defeat of the season. Now, I think if you've lost 3 games of the first 9, and the average number of defeats in a season for a champion is 4, it's really looking unlikely at this point. But I'm not saying Chelsea were, after all, World Club champions. I'm not saying they can't go on a tear. And they've just started badly, perhaps because of the commitments in the pre-season or just before the pre-season. But anyway, Chelsea losing at home to Sunderland, that's a pretty wacky result. Newcastle turned around against Fulham, which is not unsurprising. Newcastle starting to play with a bit of vim and vigour. Manchester United, though, hot on the heels of their, and not having to play many games at the moment, but hot on the heels of their success against Liverpool. A fairly convincing performance against Brighton and Hove Albion, even if the scoreline, I think, flattered them a little bit. But Brentford, Liverpool, the late game on the Saturday. How many of you got that one right? I thought it'd be tricky, but you really thought after Liverpool beat Eintracht Frankfurt the way they did, they were back, they'd found a way. And actually in the game, they looked disjointed, lackluster. Kerkez, who was in the team of the year last season, not good enough by a stretch. Florian Wirtz, he did score. I won't take that away from him, but had he not scored, you'd be looking at a really poor performance there from him. Florian Wirtz, nowhere to be seen. Ekitike, you and I know. That one's for Rosie if she turns up. So really, just a very bad performance from Liverpool, where even a Mo Salah classic goal couldn't put a shine on that. 3-2, they lost. So you went in today thinking, well, Man City with an in-form Erling Haaland can beat just about anyone when they have to. And Villa haven't started the season all that strongly. So I was still relatively confident Man City would do it. Of course, the game was on at the same time as ours. So for Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City all to lose, we're now 4 points clear of Bournemouth in second place. We're 5 points clear of Tottenham in third place. 5 points clear of Sunderland in fourth place. 6 points clear of Manchester City, who are 5th at the moment to Europa League settings, and just on the same points as Man City. Pep Guardiola's Man City, Man United. Are they going to go on a run now and really secure a top 4 place? Are they in the hunt for? I mean, all joking aside, there's not that big a gap at the moment formed between us and anyone else, but there is a 7-point gap between us and Liverpool, which, you know, we've blown 8-point leads before. I'm not saying we haven't, but that is pretty significant. I think anyone looking at that would be surprised. At the start of the season, I really did not see this coming. Just to be clear, I actually predicted that we would get a draw against Palace. And it would have been a real shame because you would have looked at it and thought, well, okay, we're still a point on everyone else, but a real chance to move further ahead has been squandered. We now have away trips to Burnley and Sunderland. I don't know what to predict for those. Before the start of the season, I said 3 points for both of them, but these are not proving to be the easiest fixtures in the Premier League at the moment. Man City are still, by 1 point, my expected favourites for the Premier League. So I'm really saying I'm not one of those fans at the moment who's saying we've done it, it's done and dusted. I'm not doing that. There's a long way to go. Just like I wouldn't have been head in hands if we hadn't done as well as we have. But we'd do 9 points better than I predicted based on previous fixtures and the equivalent fixtures. Palace at home over the last 5 years has not been an easy result for us. Manchester City have had a really difficult run. Their next fixture is at home to Bournemouth. I have a feeling they'll win that, but then they host Liverpool. Now, Liverpool already lost 4. If they've lost 5 in their first 10 or 11 games. This, in short, has been a fabuloso weekend. And if you don't think so, then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's incredible to me that Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City all lose. The only downside, well, actually, no, to tell you the truth, Red Eye Gooner, I'm with you, man. He posted on a comment on one of the videos saying he had taken Mickey van der Ven out of his fantasy league team, and so did I. I bloody hate Fantasy Premier League. I hate it for this exact reason. What was I thinking? I left Matty Cash in, but I just thought, what was I thinking? That Everton were going to be, I left Tarkowski in. What was it? Everton were going to be the team to beat Tottenham 2-0. That's what I thought. Went a different way. Now Tottenham, are they title contenders? We're going to have to hear a lot from them. Anyway, so the talking points for this weekend are Liverpool. Is it really all over for Liverpool? A lot of their fans have thrown the towel in, which is a little premature. Manchester City, what on earth is going on there? What a lot of us were saying was that Man City seemed to be a one-man team. If they don't have Erling Haaland on top form, who can score for them? Mamouche came back. Mamoushka. Yeah. They have some players to come back from injury. I've never seen any team miss one player like I've seen Man City miss Rodri over the last couple of seasons. I feel like Pep Guardiola has absolutely no idea what to do about it and not enough energy to think of something. The Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich, who took hold of Joshua Kimmich and turned him into a defensive midfielder, just doesn't seem to be there. He wants to buy a ready-made replacement for Rodri. Now, obviously, there is one, Zubimendi. But he didn't play that well today, and we are going to look at some of the player ratings. I want to hear from you in terms of what did you think of Saka's performance? What do you think of Gyökeres? How good was Eze's karate kick goal? All of these things we will talk about. Before doing any more of that, though, it's Hawkwind o'clock. Geezer, fantastic to see you. I love how you get here on time before me, and I'm sure you've already clicked a like because that's how good you are. E's are good. E's are good. Is Eze good? I like Eze like Sunday morning. I don't think he played brilliantly today, but I wasn't sure how he would play. And I will say, salute to the Crystal Palace fans who gave him an ovation off the pitch. I think that's because they're quality fans. And there was a lot of conversation. Yeah, I know West Ham fans initially were lovely to Declan, and now have sort of made the thing of booing him, which is a bit pathetic. Malia! Just saw a girl called Malia. No more singing, I promise. We are top of the league. Whoop, whoop. Big up, boss man. I'm celebrating and I don't care. Let's go. Celebrate good times. Celebration. Hawkwind. Hi. And it's Boy Tendio with We're Winning the League. Creeps are being outed for the creeps they are. Anarchy is on the rise. This is political philosophy and no one likes their elected officials. This is bound to be a golden year. I think that's the Black Swan moment, isn't it? The collapse of global currencies and governments, and Arsenal fans going, can we just play the last 6 games of the Premier League, please? And then we'll dissolve. We'd have to play them in floodlights. We can play them in the glow of the burning buildings. One time, let me see the Champions League. Why are you saying, Boy Tendia? Always great to have you here. And then there's a lot of people saying hello. We're getting all the results we need to get. It's sick, isn't it? Doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't normally happen that way. Chelsea losing. All right, I had them out of the title race. For me, it was a 3-horse race. And I thought, Liverpool coming back against Eintracht Frankfurt, I saw the green shoots of recovery. But today, those green shoots seem to have withered in the car park of Brentford. See you on Tuesday. Sounds rude. Nice to see you, Idrissa Dam. The fact that we won our toughest games at the beginning of the season says a lot. I didn't think we'd just be losing points at Liverpool. Even that was unlucky. Now it does make you think maybe we could have gone for it a little bit more at Liverpool. Liverpool, not great. Van de Ven is a Spurs player. You're forgiven for leaving him out, but still hard. I can't get over it. I am sick about it. I'm genuinely sick about it. Was he ended up on like 21 points or something? I mean, it's a stupid game. It never brings me any joy. Ez's goal reminded me of Giroud's scorpion kick. It wasn't quite as good as that. It just reminded me of the kick in Karate Kick. The crane kick. It was beautiful, and technically not from open play, but Tottenham going to have to keep their mouth shut a little bit. They scored 3 against Everton, and they were all from set pieces. And Everton's goal that was ruled out was from a set piece. Set pieces rule a day. We're going to get to a point where match of the day, all corners, isn't it? Martinelli injury, Saka injury, Saliba injury. Idrissa Dam, there's no nice way of saying this, but I do not trust your news sources. It seems to me that you're just Googling stuff and it's not usually right. So I'm going to side that. You're fucking eager. My internet has decided to start working again. Don't tell me you missed the match. Did you miss the match? Evening, girls and boys and landlord. I'll have a pint of Eze and a packet of 4 points clear, please. 4 points clear is one way of saying it. But we're 4 points clear of Bournemouth. I don't see Bournemouth holding on. We're 5 points clear of Tottenham after 9 games played. I don't see Tottenham holding on. Tottenham have lost twice this season already. Only 2 teams have only lost 1 game so far this season. It's a very close together season. I'm not liking the look of it for Wolves or for West Ham. Maybe Forest can still work their way out. Is there time tonight to talk about relegation, who may be going down? And I missed my notification, lol. Jose, it's good to see you. Every Sunday, 10:30. Although, you know what, Sundays are tough because it's about comfy on the sofa. I've watched a lot of football and I was feeling drowsy. Hey, darlings, it's Chris Nix. Beautiful, beautiful. Good to see you, sir. Greetings, everyone, indeed. Martinelli injury. You just said that. I'm not doing it. It is true. You don't know it's true. The reason I'm dismissive of you is because you don't have any inside sources. Anyone can scavenge not news off the interweb. Nah, Black Swan event can't manifest. They're trying, though. Don't ask me who they are. It's the Gluminati. On the subject of which, making short comedy videos takes me a lot longer than I think it's going to. Please stay tuned over the next couple of days for the release of Gluminati, the emergency session. And Gary's here from Don't Waste a Trip. Dinny Waste a Trip. Hello, hello. Where's Anthony Weir's big arms dipped in Herbert Sherbert. I want to hear from you. Earth Ernie Vader, get a hello or a like or something in the comments. Don't just be sending me WhatsApps because you know they ping when you sending me. Do you want to see some of the pictures he sends me, honestly? I have to say, I do look like Razor Ruddock. I just fucking do. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing nothing wrong with it at all. Excuse me. I've been saying for a while that the league is at its most hostile is when we will win the league. This isn't the league. It's in ultra hostile. So I'll take. Yeah, it's not me being salty or kind of a bad loser last season. I just thought no one really challenged Liverpool. Man City went, after a good start, hit that slump, which, it could be as bad as the one Liverpool are in now. As to that, they did lose games. I don't think they lost 4 in a row in the Premier League. It's pretty drastic at the moment for Liverpool. Hard to see where it's going wrong, but I'm here to talk about it. I'd love to hear your opinions. So last season, Man City fell away, and we just didn't. We had all kinds of things you could complain about. Sendings off, injuries at the worst time, lack of squad depth, all that to one side. We couldn't use it as an excuse. But the other thing I want to say on the subject of Liverpool is that they're just having a bit of an unlucky patch. They're not playing that badly. The results are bad. And they certainly didn't look up for it against Brentford. But they could easily have scored another goal. They could have scored, gone ahead, all kinds of things in football. It's never straightforward. So I haven't watched a lot of the AFTV crowd after the game at the Emirates today. Hopefully we'll see Nath. Hopefully he was at the game. If you were at the game and you haven't made yourself known in the comment section, please do so now. Somebody's standing by to take your order. Boy10 says, they will sink each other trying to sink us. Man City playing Liverpool, that's a good thing for us. There's definitely not one of those two teams is out for me. I think if you lose 4 games in the first 11, you're out. If you lose 5, yeah, you're definitely out. Liverpool don't look solid at all at the back. Man City don't look cohesive. They don't look like they've got cohesive team spirit. If Erling Haaland isn't having a worldie of a day, what is it with Man City? I mean, I am really interested in it. I don't understand it. For me, as I said right at the beginning of the intro, I think no team I've ever seen has fallen apart so completely on the loss of one player. At the moment, I don't think they know who their good players are. Jeremy Doku, okay. Ryan Cherky, who's been injured. Obviously, Erling Haaland with his goals. 11 goals is absolutely absurd, isn't it? I think that's more than Charlie Nicholas scored in the season for us. Mental, isn't it? Zanzi says, I said at the start of the season that Liverpool's defence was shite. 14 goals conceded in 9 games. That's 11 more than the greatest team in the world. There's a couple of things. One, I looked at BBC stats today and I looked at SofaScore. And both of them are saying that Crystal Palace had a shot on target. I'm not sure I remember it. But I know we talked about this last week. What is and is not a shot can differ. But it's a funny thing to come to a point as an Arsenal fan where you're not disappointed if the team scores against you. You're disappointed if it's the first game in 3 that someone's actually had a shot on target. I've got to snap out of that. That's not important. What was important today was we turned up and we got 3 points, and we did it on the eve of a midweek game that was huge and exciting. I would have taken a lot of emotion. I don't know what the Emirates. I'll tell you what it felt like watching it on telly. It felt like a hybrid crowd would have felt like in '91, where you've got to beat a team. There's a little anxiety if you don't. Crystal Palace looked really good. They took the game to us in certain spaces. There's a lot of casual passing that wasn't easy on the eye. I thought Zubimendi had probably one of his worst games for us. I didn't think Eze looked all that great. And Gyökeres looks a little bit short of pace and power to play the kind of game I think he wants to play. Bukayo Saka, not special. Saliba coming off at half-time. Is that a worry? Should we be worried? I haven't seen any of the post-match discussions, largely because there's not really a lot of point in it. They'll tell you a lot of stuff, precautionary or whatever. You don't know until he plays or not. I don't think he's earmarked to play against Brighton anyway, but perhaps he is. Perhaps I'm talking out my buttocks. So, no, Liverpool aren't my baby. That's for Liverpool fans to solve now. I'm interested. I'll tell you why you try and solve it, boy Teddy. You try and solve it because you try and work out what the probability is that they are going to solve it. I think if you really want to believe that they're falling apart, then I think Mo Salah's goal probably tells you there's life in him yet. Florian Wirtz just has not got going, but he's a great player. There is this weird thing, and I talked about it quite a lot start of season. When you spend over 100 million on a player, it hardly ever ends well. See if I can dig up those stats and numbers for us to look at again. And I know that none of us are here to fix Liverpool's problems, but do you think it's over for them, or do you think they can come again? Do you think there is enough now to see them just having the kind of bum season that we did last season? And even in that, even though we didn't challenge last season, there was still a point heading to the turn of the year where it felt like one or two results go our way, we could still turn it on a little bit. There's a good number of us here. I hope we're all hitting the likes. Malia says, I think West Ham, Forest and Wolves will be relegated. That's what it's looking like at the moment. But I don't know. It's still too early for me. I think I don't like to make predictions of any kind until late in December at the earliest. So right now, yes, it's nice to be points ahead. But what if we do go away to Burnley and Sunderland and lose? And that's not looking that impossible. I'll be very impressed with anyone who scores a goal on some current form. Unbelievable. I tell you what, though, you know what's going to happen? David Raya, increasingly, is going to come out and play more and more, or he's going to do something less and less intelligent. He's going to get caught on a ball because he does look like he's bored and he wants to get involved in a game. Clearly, I've been underestimating Szoboszlai considering he's won Liverpool their game against us. I think Szoboszlai this is a season where I've really started to take him seriously. Not just because of the goal against us, but I think he's the only Liverpool player that walks away from this part of the season so far with any credit. I think he has looked really good. Given that they've played him at right back, which is obviously, I get it. That's where Trent played. It's a kind of an Iniesta move, isn't it? Have them move into a position. Zubimendi does a lot of his best work in that kind of left arcing balls along. I thought Szoboszlai, you can't. One man can't carry a team. Erling Haaland. We've been saying that about Erling Haaland. Man City fans were saying, but he's a great player. He can carry us. And then you have days like today. I recall that so-called shot on target from RHS, 35 yards out, it looked more like a cross that didn't work, and Rare just took the ball into his midriff, so hardly even a save, but it was on target. I'm going to have to look. I don't think that was one. If it was that one, it was kind of pathetic. I don't know when it becomes a shot, but surely if the keeper hadn't been there, I think he would have gone in. So maybe in that basis, it is a shot. This is an improvement from last season. Last year, we would draw the ugly games and be happy with a point. Now we're winning them. Newcastle, Fulham, and now Palace. It's impressive. It is impressive. I don't think anyone gets to tell us this hasn't been impressive. We battered Leeds at home. We battered Forest at home. We drew against Man City, but it was a wonderful draw, and they never really looked that dangerous. But really, the Newcastle away game, West Ham at home, Fulham away, that's been a good run for us. Newcastle, West Ham, Fulham, and Palace. That's definitely from the points we would have expected to get from that on previous occasions travelling. You would have expected us to get 5 points, and we've actually got 12. That's where the 7-point gaps open up. It is impressive, definitely impressive. Can I just say, to Durham Leopard, who is a captive of the Facebook audience, you, sir, are a wonder, and thank you for being part of this. Zanzi Keys. Zanzi, by the way, I know you were calling for his guitar intro. He's already had it right at the beginning. He was here right at the beginning. I don't think Slot can solve the Liverpool Rubik's Cube. He goofed with his recruitment, or Michael Edwards goofed. Liverpool fans can take their pick. Or this is natural when you bring in too many players. You let too many players go. I think there is a lot. We are talking about a team that Robertson's still there. I think you would now go. I think I wouldn't expect to see Kirkes playing much more. But to lose Trent Alexander-Arnold, Diaz, Darwin Nunez, I know these are players that didn't get a lot of credit, and in Nunez's case wasn't necessarily very good, but they're still members of your team. They're still in your squad. They're still friends. They're still colleagues. To just see them up and go like that, it's going to affect the mood. Then you bring in a whole host of superstars. The way that Florian Wirtz chose Liverpool over anyone else, and he did have his pick, and he for good reason. He's played out. He's been best player in Germany for the best part of 2 years. Then you look at Ekitike, who probably is the one signing they've made who has looked decent. Frimpong, whose pedigree is excellent, and is a good like-for-like replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it hasn't worked. They didn't get Guéhi. Konate's playing like he thinks he's leaving. Virgil van Dijk's chucking his toys out of the pram every 5 minutes. Mo Salah looks tired. He looks like he's not sure what's going on. And then you bring in Alexander Isak. There's an article from the beginning of the season that said you can write the league off if Liverpool get Isak. Well, it hasn't worked out that way. And okay, I get it. Isak hasn't had a pre-season, but it's nearly November. He's had a couple of months now. Something about the system, something about Arne Slot relating to all the new players, or I don't know. I think Boytendi is right. I'm not here to fix Liverpool, but I do find it interesting. Liverpool's fix this season is to go 4-4-2, but I don't know where Wirtz fits in, so I don't think they can actually do that. Perhaps they should play Endo or Beth. I can never pronounce his name. The FM scouts rate him. Are you playing the FM then? I'm waiting. I'm not buying anything buggy. If Liverpool continue to lose, let me put this on screen for you. If Liverpool continue to lose, do you think they would sack him? It's a long shot for me, but it's possible. Yeah, I mean, in the end, if they had Marinakis as a chairman. Let me know in the comments. I think whatever happens to Arne Slot, he gets a year. But I don't really like his press conferences at the moment. I'm wondering if he's got the dressing room. Has he lost the dressing room? Guéhi probably thanking his lucky stars the move to Liverpool fell through. Yeah, I don't think he always made me laugh. It's so arrogant. The Liverpool fans were going, you've cost him his chance at the big time. It's like, no, he will go to Bayern Munich or wherever the hell he wants. Real Madrid. At the end of the season on a free transfer, he'll pocket a load of wedge. He's going to be a great player for years to come. I think Mark Guéhi is not a flash in the pan. He's a really good player. And I think a 1-0 victory over Palace is not terrible either when you think how well they've been doing. But it's not the result any of us wanted, And I did feel a lot more secure about it when I saw them lose at home to Larnaca. I don't think they're in good scoring form at the moment. Queen of Tea, if they lose the next 16, then fingers crossed. I don't want to see anyone sacked, but I wouldn't mind. Maybe Wirtz goes left wing. I don't see that. I just don't see that at all. I think you've got a better chance of seeing Isak out of the left wing. I don't think you get the best out of Florian Wirtz there. I think as an inside left, maybe, but he's supposed to be affecting the ball by finding the passes. I think he just needs time to adjust to a completely different game. It's a very different game, the Premier League. I want them to keep Slot. I don't rate him. What phase is Slot in? He won the Premier League in his first season. People go, look at Mikel Arteta spent $1 billion. It's like Slot spent half of that in 12 months. But let me see if we can get some of you up here. It's been a really the clocks have gone back, but football has gone forward. It's been a really relaxing weekend. And I'm looking forward to the League Cup, but not much. Football never slows down long enough for you to just take a moment, does it? We have 2 relatively winnable games coming up, but we are playing Brighton on Wednesday. I can never remember. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. So we're playing Brighton at the Emirates on Wednesday. I don't want to get into this today. Do you know what it is? I can feel it. I can feel us going out to that and people saying you never take the League Cup seriously. I can see him playing a pretty strong team. I can see him playing Wanyeri, Miles Lewis-Skelly. But, Brighton are Brighton. Really much better than they looked against Manchester United. Would you please join me in welcoming to the stage? It's Zanzi.
There is a possibility that my internet will just go again, just to let you know, because it's been on and off.
Where internet goes, we'll go with you.
Yeah, it's been on and off all bloody day. But I did watch most of the match.
Imagine if it goes out during the match. It's the worst thing. I mean, mine went down for about 30 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, am I really watching this on 4G?" But how has your weekend been since I saw you last?
It's been good. I mean, yesterday, great results for us. Today, good results again.
I'd say yesterday and today have been magical.
Oh, God, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, to be honest, Palace, everyone knew it was going to be a tough match, but did they really threaten us?
Not at all. I mean, I could say there wasn't a 1-0 with 5 minutes to go. Little bit anxious.
Yeah.
Because they were chucking balls into the area and anything can happen. But I think we've now gone 4.4 games without conceding a goal.
Yeah, that shot on target. I can't remember who had the ball, but he was on their left-hand side, right-footed. He put the cross in, miskicked it sort of. It was low, so no one could head it, and it just went straight into Raya's arms.
You mean, like, as we were looking at, was he on the right of the goal trying to cross it in and it went harmlessly into Raya's hands? Let me find it. Because, as I said, different places have different. I mean, I looked on on a BBC one, and they've got one shot on target, but you're not able to see which it is. On SofaScore, you can look, and it will give you an indication of what time of the match the free kick was taken and the shot. And it says here that Crystal Palace had one shot on target.
75th minute, around that sort of time, I think.
Well, it is Eddie Nketiah. It was the Eddie Nketiah shot from basically just ahead of the penalty spot. Oh, I remember it now. Yes, it was a shot on target. I went straight at Raya, and he saved it.
All right.
70. It was on the 70th minute. So you can go and check that out. I'll be watching the game again. It's not a game I'm massively looking forward to watching again. I tend to enjoy watching the games again, but if we've won this one. But then, this is what I was saying earlier. They had a picture of George Graham sitting in the stands, and I was watching somebody else, on these panel shows where everyone talks over each other. And they were saying, "Oh, George Graham would have hated this," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This would have been like George Graham would have been going, it's the best game I've seen."
George Graham would have been rubbing his hands together. Oh, well, I started this off.
And you know what's really great as well? I'm currently reading a really good book called The Mixer. I think I might have read it before, but it's one of those I picked it up. I couldn't get to sleep, and I started reading it, and I just really enjoyed it. And it's sort of familiar, but I must have read it too quickly. But it talks about the biggest change in world football happened in '92, and football's become.
What's the show that you're doing there where they interrupt each other?
I wanted you to do that earlier when it was funny.
All right. I was waiting for a good time, and then you started. So
I think you missed it. I think you missed it because comedy is all about
timing.
So anyway, so in this book, he writes about the big change in English football, in world football, that made football it's probably the most transformative change that happened in '92. Do you remember what it was?
Yellow cards.
No. So they had yellow cards before then. So 92.
Pass back.
Say again?
Pass back to the keeper.
That's right. Now, when you think about George Graham's sides in '91, they'd play it around between themselves, then they'd pass it back to Seaman and he'd pick it up. So that's why they only conceded 17 or 18 goals. It's incredible to think that we might break George Graham's defensive record in an era where a keeper can literally only hold the ball for 6 or 7 seconds. Did you see that Brentford gave away a corner because because Keller had the ball in his hands too long? I thought that would be mad, wouldn't it, if Liverpool benefit from a corner? But they can't score corners, so that's why they're in trouble. But yeah, the back pass rule changed everything. After Euro 92, when Peter Schmeichel used to just pick the ball up and then, and pass it to someone and pick the ball up. It's incredible to think anyone ever scored a goal if you were 1-0 up, because you just literally hold on to the ball forever. In an era where you can't do that, I find it incredible to think that we are stopping teams in 90 minutes having a shot. Yeah. Because the shot that we're talking about, the Eddie Nketiah one, really isn't a shot.
About shots on target.
Yes, what you're saying about how it shows people interrupt each other?
Yeah. It was the Everton match, because I was having a look at all the stats there. And at halftime, Everton had 3 shots, none on target. But then watching the highlights, it was about the 5th minute or something like that. One of the Tottenham defenders cleared the ball, and he couldn't have been more than about a yard from the goal line, and that was not because he cleared it away. It wasn't a shot on target. If he hadn't have been there, it would have gone in the back of the net.
Yeah, because we talked about this on Friday. I totally get it, but having thought about it, there's got to be a level, hasn't it, where you're aiming at a target, don't aim at... I mean, the keeper's got to be in goal, or he's most often in goal, but if a defender's in that portion of goal, don't aim for him. I don't know. It's never going to be a satisfying world in which you know exactly what shot is and what isn't. But the idea that Arsenal Football Club could play 270 minutes of football and concede 1 shot on target, I've never heard of that before. It's not... I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the season as much, but we might be... And it's obviously too early to say, but we might well be in a situation this season where we become the best defensive team the Premier League's ever seen. Ooh. Then what does that do for the likes of Salazar Campbell and Kolo Touré? Are they supplanted by Gabriel, who took one for the team today?
Did you see any of the goals from the matches from yesterday, the match of the day or something like that?
I didn't see the Chelsea match, but I watched the Liverpool match, and I watched the Man United match.
There's one match where the penalty was given and then it was withdrawn again because, as they say, the defender got a touch on the ball.
Yeah.
Now, I looked at it and I saw it and I thought, he hasn't touched the fucking ball, has he? And I've replayed it 4 or 5 times, and I still couldn't see the ball did.
That might actually have been the Man United game. Was that Man United Brighton? I think that might have been.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. It would have been for Brighton.
Yeah, bad decision, and bad decision from VAR because it felt like that's what VAR is supposed to be good at. But, we know VAR is... VAR, the thing that pisses me, I think that pisses everyone off is you're sitting there watching a goal and they go all the way back to see if there was a foul in the build-up. And I just think, well, if the ref hasn't seen a foul on the pitch in the build-up, why are you looking for one? Just look to see if it's onside, offside. I think... But for the World Cup, VAR is going to be an outstanding form and everyone will be like, how comes we haven't got that kind of World Cup effort of VAR? And... But Boyten Diaz says he doesn't see us going out to Brighton, and Gluminati keeps on trying to say Zubimendi must have a good game. I don't get it anymore. Anytime he touches the ball, makes a decision, the ball goes. I like him a lot. I think today was probably his weakest performance. But I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of there's a level of football fandom now where they just have utterly unrealistic and ridiculous ideas. It's like that every game has to be amazing and majestic, and and largely it's down to people who weren't around to see leagues before.
Who was your man of the match
today? Well, it's tough, isn't it? I mean, in a game that wasn't full of great performances, it's tempting to give it to Eze just because of his goal was the difference. I thought Declan Rice looked brilliant, and I'm glad he came off, but apparently he has an injury. Calafiori has an injury. Saliba may be injured. I thought we saw good rotation today. I thought really I'd give it to Eze because the whole game was on him. But a lot of the game, see, this the thing is, like, you can criticize. I think he gets criticized in games like today where he's not creating enough chances, his passing isn't accurate enough, and he's not really dribbling enough or quite as much as anyone wants him to. He didn't have quite as many touches as people want him to, but the decisive action was his very, very well taken goal. Beautiful. And he'll be remembered for that. So what about you? Who was your man OTM?
I think it is, for me personally, it's got to be Gabriel. I thought he had a brilliant game in the back. And it's nice in the fact that he actually crossed his nuts on the goalpost as well.
Yeah, he's taken one for the team there. Do you know what? At the start of the game, like, I was pretty confident we've got enough good players around at the moment. We could rotate a few if we had to. I was quite. Actually, do you know what? If I'm totally honest, I would say probably Trossard was my man of the match.
He had a good game.
I think there was lots of things that didn't just quite work out for him, but I really admired him playing the way he was, and I love how involved he is now. He's obviously put behind him whatever niggle he had at being at Arsenal. That's been over. In a year, he's gone from sulking that he wants to leave to being a really big part of what could be a great season. I don't know. I think a lot of people have these expectations that people are going to do amazing things all the time. Realistically, if you can eke out 3 points in the 9th game of the season, you know, when you used to watch in the olden days, in the good old days, when I used to go 1988 season at VHS tape, and it would show you all the goals from the season, but there'd be some games where it sort of glossed over it. And Arsenal played a convincing 1-0 performance against Crystal Palace, who had been riding high, with a goal from Eberechi Eze being the difference, and then they just go past it. That's what real leagues are like. You know, I mean, it's just how it is. There's 38 games, and if you're hoping they're all going to be great, may I remind you of the 2-2 draw against Portsmouth in the Invincible season, which was fucking dreadful. And it happens because all of these teams want to win. All these teams are good. And Crystal Palace, I thought they came at us just enough. There's some great players in that Palace team, and I have a soft spot for Palace, which I say quietly.
I thought Trossard was unlucky with that second half where he stole in from the left-hand side, brilliantly trapped the ball from Gabriel, and then just couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah. I just felt like he was... If anyone, there were a couple of moments where he pirouetted on the ball. There was a beautiful moment where Jurrien Timber was like took on 4 of their players. And was like, yeah, you're not.
And then he got fouled.
I mean, I don't know if it was Wharton comes steaming in. I was like, fuck this. But I mean, Jurrien Timber is just a hugely impressive human being. But yeah, there were moments for Trossard where I thought, on any other day. And I think there is something to it. Look, it doesn't matter. We won the game, right? But the Atletico game took something out of our legs because it's noticeable that Trossard was the brightest today for us. And he had that midweek game off. The rotation really helps, I think.
That being said, Palace played on Thursday, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And they lost.
Yeah.
And they couldn't score a goal against Larnaca at home. So I think they... The difference being for them, it's a big game. But I don't think they looked great either, to be honest with you. I think it was just we got the goal we needed at a good time. I was never really worried, but I was a bit concerned that we were being pedestrian. We weren't being dynamic. We weren't up for it. You can see that going against you. But this year, I have a lot more faith in us to get the job done, and that's what transpired. So Chris Nick says, I went to Old Trafford yesterday. What a great time to go. Buzzing. Cunha, I couldn't believe it was his first goal for Man United. I really rate him. Red Eye, if you're watching, I know you do as well. Mbeumo, Cunha, Šeško, their front three compared to the money that Liverpool have spent, they're starting to come good. Man United, top 4 team suddenly. How it changes, huh?
Well, at least top 6 at the moment.
Well, I think they're going to be. I honestly think. I think they've got a better chance of going for. I mean, they're on joint points with Man City after 9 games played, and they're a point ahead of Liverpool. That's insane to me. You know, for what we were just joking about them 3 weeks ago, we were getting told off. We only beat them 1-0 at their place. That's how quick it is. But a great time to be a Man United fan now. Just getting a bit of hope back, I think.
What is amazing is Bournemouth and Sunderland being up there, though.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, Bournemouth, you can make a case. Bournemouth are just a very well-managed team, right? Like, I mean, to lose your back 4 and then now be better off because of it. They definitely didn't win the transfer. I mean, I don't think so. You know, one of the more odious online Arsenal fan bases was going, or channels was saying, what stage are Sunderland in? You know, what phase is Sunderland in? They haven't spent any money. They bought loads of players and they're going to win the league. Why can't we do it? It's like, oh, yeah, all right then. Nice.
So you think Sunderland's going to win the league?
He didn't say that, but he was like, you know, when people say, you know, Arteta's had 6 years and £1 billion, and you're like, I don't know, and he's bought. I mean, the thing is, when I hear people talking about Arteta spent £1 billion, I said he built an entire squad with £1 billion, you know, like, and it's a good squad. So that's probably what it would cost you to. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is everyone so surprised at that? And you know, spending £1 billion on its own sounds like a lot, but then you find out there's 4 teams that spent more than us, and they're not winning the league either. Or you know, some of them aren't winning the league anyway. Though the point he was making was, see, it just proves that you don't need 6 years and you don't need a rebuild. You just come in as Sunderland, you go top of the league, and you go. It's 9 games played, mate. You know, like if they are top of the league after 38, fair enough, they've done a miracle. But being angry with Arteta for not doing what Sunderland have done in 9 matches is a bit daft. But great to hear that you went to the game. Chris says it was a crazy day, Malia. Met Paul Chuckle at the hotel I was staying at. Is he still performing as Paul Chuckle, or... That's pretty much a dead act now, isn't it? I'd guess. George Graham is the biggest fan of this current Arsenal team. Yep. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, if there's a man on earth who knows more about putting defences together, he'd respect that. He'd go, do you know what? What I love about us, you see it in every game, it's the body's behind the ball. When we're out of shape, when we lose the ball, and we did lose the ball today in that first half more than once. It was really getting frustrating. But all the players charge back to be in the position. You know, there are a couple of times where I think we could have got caught more than we were. Matter of fact, I reckon George Graham would insist Arteta is a genius for his defensive setup. I bet you of all of the... I don't know if George Graham's the sort of person who would call anyone else a genius. But he'd definitely be doff a cap to him. Dan and Zanzi are not so chuckle brothers. That's the best comment of the night. Brian Burke, massive elevations to you. Good to see you. How are you feeling? Congratulations. Mr. Tom is here. This can mean only one thing. If I can find it. Talk amongst yourselves. How frustrating. It's there. I know it is somewhere. Mr. Tom is here, which can mean only one thing. I can't find it.
Is he coming on for the second time on the tour?
Almost everything has something to do with Leeds United. Mr. Tom, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Tom.
I can't help it, but I'm sitting here thinking, what would happen if you told AI to go fuck itself?
Good to see you, Mr. Tom. That's my name. That name again is Mr. Tom. Kung Fu grip settings. Increasing your grip on the top. Kung Fu grip setting. I refuse to believe everybody was Kung Fu fighting. Hey, Tom, long time. Good to see you. Tell me, Dan, which analysis has not as league champions? Only 3 goals conceded. Everybody thinks we're going to win the league at this point, right? Anybody, nobody's going to stick their neck out and go, oh, I don't like to look at this Arsenal team. But the people within the Gluminati are very quick to point out, why should I be excited just because we're 7 points clear after 9 games? We've been 8 points clear and still thrown it away. You know, they will not concede that Arteta deserves any credit at all until he wins silverware, which is fine. I'm on board with that. Let's not get behind the team until they win something if you want to. But I'm cheering like an idiot. That's where I'm at. So I think every intelligent person now would have us as clear favourites. But it's not even November yet. No one's ever won a league in October or November or December. For all that we have played brilliantly, I'm not trying to jinx us, but if we did go away and get just 2 points from Sunderland and Burnley, which are not necessarily easy games, and things can happen, player could get sent off, something weird can happen, and Liverpool and Man City could find their form and go on a tear, then we might be level going into Christmas, and then are we still favourites? As it stands, on my analysis, pre-season analysis, which did not take into account changes in form and how transfers are worked out, I had speculated from the games that they were facing that Manchester City would accumulate 92 points. They're actually a point better than I expected them to be, so they would get 93 points, whereas I had us to score 82 points, and we're 9 points better off. So if it stays the same, I still have Man City as favourites. Well, not favourites, but I think Man City can still win the league.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows at this point. I didn't watch City today. Obviously, I was watching the Arsenal game. And I don't do that thing where you watch 2 games at once because it means I end up watching neither properly. But I'll go back and watch the match of the day on it. And I don't know, but they lost. And they never really looked like scoring. And that's, for me, there's something telling about losing 3 of the first 9 because it means you really can't lose another 3 games in the rest of the season. Hawkwind says, Ross Morgan is here. Lovely evening all. Hawkwind is a silver machine. Mr. Thomas, break it down.
Match of the day. I never watch that now because it's just drivel to me. But if you go onto the BBC website and look at the results on YouTube, you can see all the games with just the commentary, and that's it. As soon as it's ended, you just go on to the next video.
Yeah, but it's not the whole game. It's just a 3 or 4 minute clip stack, isn't it?
No, it's about 8 minutes or so per game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I know they release those pretty quickly on YouTube, and I'll watch them.
Yeah,
well, it's nothing like watching an entire game for 90 minutes or 100 minutes, and then watching it in slow motion. That's what I like to. I like to drag a game out for most of Saturday, like it were cricket. Mr. Tom says the truth is that today's game situation is one you don't want to win. Sorry, the truth is that today's game situation is one you don't win last year, as you never took advantage of Liverpool dropping points. So take note of that. Exactly. And where it's fair to point out that Liverpool lost a total of 4 games last season, and I think 3 of them were after they'd already pretty much won the league. So we weren't in a position to capitalise as much as we are now. But yeah, I mean, this became true weeks ago where Liverpool dropped points and we gained points. And when Crystal Palace beat Liverpool, the fact that we won that day was a new feeling, a wonderful feeling. And we are, I think, in the box seat with the best attitude towards winning it. I don't think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think they're coming in, they're grinding out games. I think from the team, from the manager all the way through the team and all the coaches around the team, I think Arsenal players and coaches and staff would be more than happy to just squeeze a life out of these games and win them by 1 free kick or a goal. If you do this for the remaining, games of the 29 games of the season, we win the league. And I don't think Manchester City or Liverpool have shown the capacity to be able to do that. But nor have Man City today shown that they can score at will. Liverpool score all the time, but the goals they concede are just ridiculous. Liverpool we can all look at the fact that their forward line is not firing as it should be. But Liverpool so far this season have scored the same number of goals as us, but they've conceded 11 more. They've conceded 14 goals in 9 games. That is just an unsustainable. It puts a huge pressure on any team to score. Alicia's here. Great to see you. Timber, man of the match. Very good shout. Very good shout. I'm stuck between. I could see why you would make it Timber, Can we get in the comments? Complete, Zanzi, who did you say your man of the match was?
Gabriel.
You could just say that without watching a game, though, can't you? It's just like he's always great.
Yeah. But no, I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah. When it announced that he was starting, I was like, yeah. A really, really strong defensive game from him. I'd say he played better than Timber today. But I'm going to be controversial and stick with Eze. I'm going to say Eze because it's so much on him, and that goal is the difference, and that's what you need.
Yeah. And it was a great goal as well. Lovely taken goal.
Karate. No mercy for Crystal Palace in this dojo. Cool, but yeah, he was brilliant. I just love him as a player. I think he's a difference maker. And it drives me mad when people go, oh, he hasn't made that much of a difference. He hasn't played that well. He goes, players don't always. Do you know what I mean? They don't always have to have a 90 minutes. Like, it's better to be crap for 89 minutes and win the game than great for 90 minutes and you lose the game. You know, I think if we hadn't had Eze today, I don't know if we'd have scored a goal. But then I can't say that either because Anthony, there you are. I knew you were on the stream somewhere in the background. Anthony, Weirs, Big Arms, Anthony, Dipped in Sherbet Herbert, Earth, Ernie Vader, Oi, Oi, Savile, Oi, Razor, I'm watching. I watched a game on a link I had. Kept buffering through the game. I taught you, bastard, you. Draw him a very long picture of cider. The boy's thirsty, Zanzi.
I've got a nice demi-john for him.
That's nice. Rosie's here. The dress code is indeed my Adidas. Run DMC, saw him at Finsbury Park. Massive fan. What a group of rappers. What a group. Runs house. I love it.
What does the DMC stand for?
It's Daryl McMichaels. Oh, it was his name. So yeah. But yeah, they were the young me was all about a bit of the Run DMC. They toured the UK with the Beastie Boys, who I was particularly into at the age of 12.
All right, okay.
One lonely beastie IB.
Did you have a great big VW thingy around your neck?
Yeah, well, everyone did. Like everyone did, you know. It was just a thing. It was just like everybody did. Like, you know, I wanted to be like everyone else. I used to break dance and rap. Me and my mate Luke were Double Trouble. I was Double D and he was Trouble T. We basically thought we were living in the Bronx, and good times before Tinternet.
I suppose if you are like a Beastie Boys fan, but you're really posh, you'd have I haven't got a VW on there, but I've got the Spirit of Ecstasy from Papa's.
No, I thought you were going to go the other way. I thought I've got a Volvo badge. Will that do? Much safer vehicle, better miles per gallon. No. I mean, like everyone I know had one. I had one, but not for very long. It was because I didn't want to get in trouble. I was on the edge of being a wild child at 12. I didn't fully blossom into. Anyway. So, all right, me bubbers in the chat. I love it. Gert Lush. Oh, look at this. She's come straight in here. Absolutely love her. How badly did we all do on FPL? Don't. £2 keeps the lights on. Do you know what? I hadn't put any adverts on anyway because it's only us lot. It's only regulars on a Sunday. But tonight is wonderfully sponsored by the one, the only, the irrepressible Top Rosie. Right, but no, I'm really, really pissed off with fantasy football. I'm not even joking. I'm not doing it in the kind of literally Dominique had to cheer me up. She goes, but the actual football went really well. I was like, you don't understand. Right? You don't understand. Van de Ven was on my bench. I made the decision to bench him for Tarkowski. Tarkowski got 1 point. Van de Ven got 23 points. My entire team got 39 points. If I'd left Van de Ven in, this wouldn't have been a bad week at all. It would have been one of my better weeks.
You'd have had 61.
62.
No, one, because you're going to take
one.
You're
absolutely right. You know, I'll make you right. I did have Matty Cash in, though, which I was really pleased with. I thought it was a being genius. And I took, I traded Alexander Isak for Thiago. So that was 5 points up. But it's annoying, isn't it? We will do an FPL show. Maybe we won't, you know. Maybe do we need to do... I'm going to do an FPL show. Depending on whether I can get this Gluminati video out tomorrow, I might do it tomorrow or I might do it Tuesday. But there's lots of hellos from everybody. Thank God I used my bench boost. Anthony, thank God, had Van de Ven on it. Chris Nix! No! I couldn't use my bench boost because Gravenberch was injured. Malacia wasn't going to play. God, I hate Fantasy Premier League. I just do. But well done, Chris. It's why you're miles ahead. The Arteta arguments has just ruined the experience for me. Takes away from the run of momentum we're on. I totally get, Jose. I totally get how you feel. I really don't enjoy our fan base at the moment, or a large section of it. So irretrievably miserable. Like, it's all right to go, yeah, it's good. This is better than to go, he's shit, and our players are shit, and the fans are shit, and the stadium's shit. And then to see us top of the table, 4 points clear of the second place team after 9 games. And then you think they might go, well, actually, you know, all right, I don't rate it. It's just a good form we're on, but we're not going to sustain it. The word sustainable has been used a lot. But they won't even do that. They just say, well, we've been 8 points ahead and lost it. So why should I celebrate? So, well, don't then, but just piss off for a bit.
I actually like watching people like Terry Fleurs and Alice because they're not but they're actually both Man United fans.
Yeah, but
they're really positive to what we're doing at the moment.
And they're very honest about how they feel about it. And I know Terry Fleurs has made us his. We might want to change his mind now that Man United are back in the title race, but he's become a sort of what do you call it, a lone Arsenal fan. I think Mark Goldbridge talks a lot of sense. The thing is, it's natural to get drawn to the people who you know are out there saying horrible things. I'm just avoiding them now. I'm not involved. I don't care. Like I said on Friday, if just someone like Christian, who I don't know very well, saying I think we're the best team in the world can upset you so much you don't enjoy beating Atletico Madrid 4-0. You're too nervy for the game of football, you know. But for me, I watched typical City and I tuned into him after City lost and he was disappointed and upset, but he was like, oh, well, what can you do? You've got to laugh, haven't you? It's terrible. And I watched a couple of Liverpool fans talking about it on the Cop-ites and they were like, you know, this is not great. This isn't good. But they were laughing at the Liverpool fans who were genuinely talking about slot out. But I don't know of many fan bases that go in on their own fan base the way that some elements of Arsenal fans do. And I can't understand it and I can't get on board with it. But if we'd lost today, I would have just been thinking, oh, they're going to have a field day. And I don't think there's anything you can do about them. I think they're here to stay. I think when I do watch them, obviously I'm doing a Gluminati parody, so I have to watch them to get voices and try and do impressions and things. And I'm finding the less I watch of these people, the happier I become. You don't have to be sold on, I'm always painted as a top gooner or somebody who's pro Arteta, an Arteta sexual mutant, whatever. But I haven't ever been. I just think that, look, as far as I could see as a pragmatist, I'm giving him a bit more time. I totally understand if people think they're sure he's not going to do it. But most people who are convinced that Arteta's not good enough, you still have to look at the first 9 games of this season and the 3 games we played in the Champions League and go, he's done all right. You know, he has not done badly. If he's totally shit at the job, I saw another argument that went live over the weekend, which is Arteta's one of the top 10 managers in the world. I got no problem with anyone who doesn't think that Arteta's in the top 10 managers in the world. It doesn't bother me at all. I can absolutely understand the logic. He's won 1 FA Cup. So is Oliver Glasner. Like on a level, maybe that's how you look at it. But why have the conversation? Someone says to you, I think Arteta's shit. You just go, okay, well, that makes sense. All right, well, you think that and I'll think what I think. And in the meantime, Doesn't matter if we disagree, really, does it? But it seems to matter so much. But yeah, the Arteta arguments aren't relevant right now. We'll have them at the end of the season. If we've won fuck all at the end of the season, I don't think it's going to be a minority of Arsenal fans that want to see him gone.
You know what? If we win this league and we get 95 points, which is the highest we've ever done, people are going to say, well, the only reason you did it is because Liverpool weren't that good, and neither were Man City, and neither were Chelsea, and neither were Man United. They will never praise, even Arsenal fans will never praise us for doing well. They'll just say, oh, well, you only did it because the rest of everyone else was crap.
Yeah, and I don't see that in other fan bases. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's useful. I think, I felt that Liverpool last season, if they'd been up against the Man City of the season before, well, it's fairly obvious. They won the league last season on 84 points. You don't really need to say much else, do you? You say that's not normally in a number of... That doesn't usually win you the league. The season before that, we got 89 points and came second. So there is something about the year that you win it. And Leicester won the league. Yes, they were great and they deserve to win it. Whenever you win a league, you deserve to win it. But sometimes you can deserve to win it because no one else showed up. Liverpool last year weren't amazing, but they were playing. They did well enough. We just kept dropping points. We kept drawing. And as a result, we never put any meaningful pressure on them.
And Arsenal beat Leicester convincingly on both of those.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a point when we beat them at Highbury after going behind, I thought this could be it. This is our turnaround. And it just didn't happen. Sometimes it's not. I mean, it's too early.
At where? Highbury.
Sorry, the Emirates. At the Emirates. All right. Senor Pedantico.
Yeah.
No, but well, it's all Highbury, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Highbury's
Highbury's in your blood, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. You never take me out of Highbury, mate.
No.
But there is just I think I'm learning that I don't have to watch these people. I don't have to take their opinion seriously. In fact, I don't really. If somebody wants to go, I don't think Arteta knows what he's doing, I'll be like, no, he's fucking lucky then, isn't he? I don't see what he's done in 6 years. Or I don't think we were in these sort of conversations 6 years ago. But then I know a lot of very intelligent people who still don't rate Arteta, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not here. I've never tried to change anyone's mind on that. But I think all I said at the start of this season is we're not going to sack him. Can we all just not have a conversation about it every time? And in the first month of this season, all anyone was talking about is, are you going to sack him if he doesn't do it? And now the Liverpool are in such free fall. Man City have not gelled. People don't want to talk about Arteta being sacked, but you give it another 2 months, it changes, right? It can change again.
Wouldn't it be great to have the money to buy one of those flats at Highbury?
And the actual, I've got two friends who have flats there.
All right.
They're not that expensive. They're like £320,000 they pay for them. But they're not big. I mean, it's central London. I mean, they are. I think they would hold their value pretty damn well, those flats. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be great to have enough money to rebuild the whole stadium and go, fuck off all of you lot, we put another football match in here. I don't care how many people turn up. So who exactly do the Gluminati believe is going to keep up with our pace this season? The great thing about being a flat earther is that you haven't got to explain how any of the flat earth scenarios are possible. You just have to say you don't think the earth is a sphere. With the Gluminati, they don't have to explain who's going to win it. They just have to say, Arteta's proven he can bottle it before. We were 8 points clear and he lost it. So he'll do that again and go, well, so Bournemouth will win the league, will they? And then they go on about how Jez, as an example, is talking today about how boring the football was. This is a guy who said he grew up watching the games in the 70s. And they were talking about what's your worst season. And Shane Gooner, they had a little podcast together talking about what was the worst season. Shane Gooner, to his credit, said 95, which I think is probably the worst season I've lived through. And Jez was talking about, just 74, I think he said, after Bertie Mee had gone, and 74, 75, and we were dreadful. This notion that this is the most boring we've ever been as a football team is just wild. in the 91 season, this is how we won it. But we weren't beating Atletico Madrid 4-0. And there was a lot of back passing and an offside trap. You know, football wasn't great to watch at Highbury in 91, but don't care if you win, do you? Jose saying Arsenal finally looked the part, in my opinion. I think so too. And that has been a shock to me. I keep saying I did not predict this. I genuinely thought we would lose to Newcastle. I had a feeling that we would lose away to Liverpool, which obviously we did. I was convinced we'd only get a draw at home to West Ham. I thought we'd beat Fulham, but I thought we'd get a draw today at home to Palace. So we have, just to be clear, 9 points from 9 games more than I predicted we would have, which is a huge overachievement. And if it carries on like that, and I don't think it's necessarily sustainable to carry on like that, this will be an immense season. I think we finally looked the part, and I think it's caught a few of us by surprise. For all that Liverpool haven't integrated their players very well, we have integrated our players. You know, we're not the only team that spent money, by the way. Man City, if you include January, where they bought players like Marmoush, they really have splashed cash. They just haven't been able to put results together consistently. And their showing in the World Club Cup was hugely disappointing as well. So Man City, and don't forget, Liverpool haven't just had a bad league season so far. They've also lost the game in the Champions League, and they lost the Community Shield to Palace. So, there aren't really obvious. I don't think anyone really thinks Man United are going to challenge all the way, do they? But let me know in the comments if you do.
I have to admit, I thought Chelsea would have a better showing than they are, considering how they won that World Club Cup.
Yeah, but I watched them win the World Club Cup, and I think the final game against PSG was incredible, but it felt a little bit like a very tired PSG. See, I didn't think that Chelsea would be in the running. My 4th place, I studied the form of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City because I decided that Chelsea weren't going to win the league. So I had to go into 4 different ways I measure the possible outcomes, and I did it for 4 teams in the end. I included Newcastle because I thought there might be some hope for Newcastle, but I actually predicted Newcastle all the way through would finish on 60 points this season, so I didn't have them anywhere near the title race. And it's kind of worked out how I thought. But they're climbing, and, let's see, we've got some brilliant comments coming up. In reference to no one's ever won the league in November, Leeds won the Champo in July once. Okay. Hi, Dan Zanzi. Good to see you. Charles, brilliant to see you. Who's the best? What is the best way to keep one's emotions under control under current circumstances? Neither do fans want the favourite tag, nor fans want if we lose from here. Conversation. Yeah, it's a really good point. Zanzi, do you want to go first?
We're top of the league. I'm happy. That's all I can say.
I think
we didn't play brilliantly today, but we played better than they did. So there we go. Let's walk on to Brighton on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think to expand on what you're saying, the only way to get through it is the cliche game at a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should never let your emotions go completely beyond you when you lose one, and you should nothing's ever as bad as it seems or as good as you hope it will be. And I know that managers use a cliche one game at a time, and they don't work that way at all. They plan 3 or 4 games ahead because they've got to rotate squads. And players have said that in the past as well. Players will, of course, have an eye on the table and the fixtures. But you do have to get it into your head that when on paper gets really to match day, on paper doesn't count for shit anymore. And what I'm saying is, on paper, we will go to Burnley and we will comfortably win. And on the day of the match, I'll start thinking, oh, shit, you know what? Well, Burnley aren't that bad. What if we don't get going? You know, what if we've lost midweek? The mood of the fans, something's happened, some dodgy lasagna, anything can happen. And part of what fuels that is each defeat can seem so momentous in a title race. That's why this weekend is so exceptional, because if you win and everyone else loses, that's 6 points all the way around. You know, it buys you a little bit more breathing space. The fact that we're 4 points clear means that if the worst happened and we went to Burnley and we lost, we would still be in a position to kick on from there. the reality is it goes quick. That you're going to have a lot of nervy moments between now and end of the season. I've lived through 5 Premier Leagues, and I haven't really. The only stroll was, I think, 91. Maybe 2004 as well, the invincible season, but there were a lot of draws in there as well. The only one where I didn't have 89 was an incredible feeling of despair. 2 home games that we should have got full points from that we dropped, and then we had to go to Anfield and win 2-0, and everyone knew it wasn't going to happen. So it was pure despair and then incredible elation. So the full scale of emotions. I think if you're going to be a football fan of a potential league title winning team, you have to be prepared for an emotional roller coaster, and you have to stand up and be counted. And the world does not need Arsenal fans to go, oh yeah, but we're shit and we bottle it. That's not what the world needs. Everyone else can be like that. Everyone else can talk about what a nightmare will be if we win. We have to keep in our focus the desire to congregate outside Islington Town Hall in May. And that's all. And if we don't get there, look, we've failed to win it 3 times in a row. It's been a really horrible feeling, but we've survived it.
Yeah. I'm not that worried about Burnley. I'm worried about the
Sunderland
week after. Away to Sunderland.
No, but that's the point I'm making. Like, on paper, we should really be winning both of those. But now, with the context of real life situation, Sunderland's actually shown themselves to be a good side. And anything can happen. And, just as I wasn't expecting really Crystal Palace to beat Liverpool, Chelsea to beat Liverpool, I thought they might, but I really wasn't expecting Brentford to beat. And I tell you, I definitely wasn't expecting Man United to go to Anfield and win. So the games you're confident about, you're really only confident about till kickoff. And then in the game, unless you get a good couple of early goals or something, you are going to live on your nerves. Even today, I don't think any of us were really worried. But when it's 1-0 and there's 6 minutes of injury time and they're pumping the ball forward, I think it's just football. You're supposed to know that anything can happen. And the people who say we should have won it by now, don't take that into account. And don't take into account just how incredibly difficult doing this is. I think they've been misled by teams like Manchester City, who seem to do it effortlessly every year, but then effortlessly with hundreds of, with billions spent. And then the other thing that's really irksome about football fans goes, Arteta spent more than Unai Emery did. It's like, no, he hasn't. He spent per season the same amount Unai Emery did. But also the inflation of players' transfers is considerably more than it was 10 years ago. So when Man City were putting their big teams together 8 years ago, they weren't spending as much as we spend now. They are now spending it again, but they got Rodri for less than you pay for him now. And so it goes. And they got Erling Haaland for about a third of what you should have paid for him, if that's to be believed. So I think you just look at where you are. Are we where you would want us to be today? And then just enjoy today. And if we're not where we should be today, get upset about it, but don't give up hope. Today,
what was funny, you talk about transfer fees. I was talking to the missus after the game saying, and I was talking to the missus how we managed to steal Eze right off Tottenham's nose. And I was saying to her, well, apparently Tottenham put in a bid for 65 million, and our boss, Berto, who's absolutely fucking brilliant, he said, all right, if that's the case, then will you accept 65 million from us? And she said, 65 million for a player?
I know you get 10 Bergkamps for that, 9 Bergkamps for that.
Yeah. And I said to her, Liverpool spent 240 million on 2 players.
Yeah.
And she said, that's just stupid.
Yeah, but it is stupid and it's hard to fathom. But when you add up how much teams make for winning things and being top of the league and commercial deals, the money's got to go somewhere. I'd rather it went to the players. I've always said that. Having said all that, it's the idea that people always use that as a stick to beat Arteta with. Look how much money he spent. He's relatively, that's what people are spending money on. If you look at the most expensive transfers in the world, it's not a litany of Arsenal players up there. People talking about Victor Gyökeres, who I didn't really think played well today. I I think I'm glad he's an Arsenal player. I really like him, all of the good stuff. But today, I think we can all admit he didn't play really well. But he cost half of what Alexander Isak cost. And Alexander Isak came from the Premier League, doesn't need any settling in time, and is still playing like shit. And they want to say it's because he didn't train with the squad. Well, neither did Viktor Gyökeres. Like, I think if we're going to dish out criticism, let's make it level playing field. You know, let's say, is Isak playing well? No. Is Florian Wirtz worth 130 million at the moment? No. So what we've got here, Anthony saying, I'm getting worried about Gyökeres after today. I took him out of my fantasy league team. I took him out a couple of weeks ago. Listen, I get really annoyed. One thing that really triggers me is when lots of people seem to want to go, I told you this, I've been saying this for years. But most of us were saying he's not as good as everyone thinks he is just because he scored a shit ton of goals in Sporting at Coventry. So I'm not hugely surprised, but the thing I am pleasantly surprised at is his attitude. And I don't ultimately care. I mean, Tony Woodcock didn't score a lot of goals, but we didn't win anything with Tony Woodcock. So it's like no one remembers Tony Woodcock, but he was an expensive signing for us at the time. So in the end, and I said this on DG's channel loads of times, if Viktor Gyökeres ends up lifting the Premier League trophy and another cup, let's say, no one's ever going to give a shit how many goals he scored because it's a team game. And if first I called the Emirates Highbury and now I'm calling Arteta Arsenal, you can see what decade I'm stuck in. But if Arteta's happy playing him, let him play. He's played every game. I think he could do with a rest. I'd quite like to see what happens when Kai Havertz comes back from injury, if he ever comes back from injury. As long as he isn't 90% top half, 10% bottom half, I think he'll be all right. But I don't think there's any point worrying about him yet. He has scored goals. He scored 2 midweek. I don't think he is Nick Anelka. I don't think he is ever going to be Thierry Henry. I'm not sure I would have let him have the 14 shirt. But all that being said, he's the one we wanted. He's a focal. He's doing his bit up front against a decent Palace defence. I don't think he was strong enough or fast enough today. Maybe that'll come with fitness.
I thought there were times where he actually played. I mean, to be honest, I thought he played better than Saka did. But that being said, then Saka was up against Guehi, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I think that's a really fair comment as well, by the way. I would say Gyökeres was considerably worse than Saka today, but they both played badly. I'd say that's probably Viktor Gyökeres' worst performance in an Arsenal shirt. That's okay. You know, he had a 0.27 XG for all the stats buffs. You know, he really didn't play well. Completed 12 passes. It was just a really poor performance. He touched the ball 27 times, which is like Kane in a final. You know, it's not good. But who's expecting him to be great in every game? And the reality, the hard thing for me is I am so fed up with the fact that I didn't know what the hype was about. And all that you heard, he's a bags man, he's a goal machine. How can we want to sign Šeško? Viktor Gyökeres will hit the ground run and get you 20 goals straight away. And I didn't believe any of that. I didn't think any of that was true. But then when we sign him, I'm the one going, look, he's good. He's never going to get you 20 goals a season, but I think he's a really good player. I like his attitude. I like he occupies defenders. He creates space. And I don't give a shit how badly the whole team's playing if we win every game 1-0. No one lets me tell the world how great we played when we lost to Inter. But we were brilliant. We were, I mean, San Siro, we were outstanding. Yeah, but you lost. All right. Well, then I don't want anyone telling me how shit we are when we win. It's one rule for one game and one rule for the other. As far as I'm concerned, everyone who wants to talk to me about, we're playing boring football, okay. Because 2 years ago, we were swashbuckling. We were brilliant. We didn't win anything. So since then, I think Arteta's gone out and got bigger, stronger, more physically equipped players. And now we don't get bullied by anyone, anywhere. And we're physically intimidating in every area of the pitch. You know, that again, I come back to it. Jurriën Timber holding off 4 players. That's not something that we got used to under Arsene Wenger or Unai Emery. So I like how we're physically stronger than every other team. I like how we put ourselves about a bit. We play together and we don't mind scoring ugly goals. I don't need to be upset about 3 points in the bag on a weekend where Man City would have swapped with us, wouldn't they? Man City would have gone, do you know what? If only we'd taken a corner that went in.
Mm.
Liverpool, for all their kind of silkiness at the moment, are 7th. They've lost 4 Premier League games in a row. Can you remember the last time we won? We lost 4 Premier League games in a row.
No, I was trying to remember the last time we conceded 2 goals. Not in the league, not Champions League.
It's a good question. Have you had a look at that?
No. I think it might have been Palace towards the end of last season.
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah, it was a 2-2. They equalised, didn't they? And that was a shit show. That was another game where we could have won that game and maybe had a late stab at a lead, but we'd given up by then. So Jose says, after all the money spent, if we win, they can't use the excuse of the league was poor. No, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. But the league is poor because money can't buy you success. Paris Saint-Germain tried that for years. It wasn't until they went for good players and good positions. I don't think we went out and no one said we won the transfer window, not even me. But I was somebody saying when Liverpool won the transfer window that sometimes winning the transfer window is the worst thing you can do because the season they won the league, they most definitely lost the transfer window the season before. Arsene Wenger never liked to buy more than 5 players at once because it's very hard to integrate new players into a squad.
But that being said, we needed those players.
Yeah, but I think what's different about the way we went and shopped for players is that you include in those players Kepa, Hincapié, Mosquera and Norgård, who are 4 players who were just brought in for squad depth. You're not really expecting to see them play very much. Mosquera's played a lot more than we thought he would by now. Then you go Victor Gyökeres. Everyone wanted us to buy because we needed a number 9, and he was everybody's favourite number 9. Mostly people who'd never seen him play football. I hadn't seen him play football, but all I ever said was from the highlights reels, he doesn't look like the kind of player I would buy. But, I changed my mind on him. He's one of ours now, and I love him. But then when you looked at the other player that we bought, there was a fucking petition for Noni Madueke. Everyone was so incensed that we bought Noni Madueke because it would mean we couldn't sign Eze. And then we signed Eze anyway. And so, when you look at it, add to that Zubimendi, who I had a last-minute wobble on because I thought, why buy this player who doesn't want to be here? But Zubimendi for me, Eze, Noni Madueke, I'm probably an odd man out. So hear me out. But I'm not that big a fan of Noni Madueke yet. Certainly, I'm not on a petition, right? But I do want to say it's all very well these players that have flair and take the ball for a walk, but they don't do anything with it. Then it's kind of like you might as well have bought Mitoma, or there's a lot of players who are easy on the eye but don't actually contribute to winning games. That said, I haven't seen enough Noni Madueke. I want to see more of him. He looked better in an English show. I think we might have got him for a bargain. But the players that I think have made a transformative difference to us so far have been Eze and Zubimendi. And that's a great transfer window. But it's not, if you compare Eze with Florian Wirtz, half the price for a reason. And Zubimendi, when you think of the money that Man City have spent trying to bring in a player who's a defensive midfielder, the money that Liverpool nearly spent on Zubimendi but couldn't get him, I think our transfer business has been a lot more sensible, but not as glamorous. And I think a lot of fans just want the tops card transfer. They want the most expensive. They want Alexander Isak. I don't think Gyökeres has played well for us so far, but in attitude and putting himself about, he's been far more impactful than Alexander Isak has at Liverpool. We can all agree on that. Šeško. Or even Šeško at Man United, yeah, absolutely. I am going to say though that Šeško has more goals in him this season, I think, than Gyökeres. That's just my opinion. Hear me out. I'm happy to be wrong. Lucky Singh's here. Yes, so happy. Newcastle United. Why? Good to see you, man. Arsenal just keep a focus and move from plan B to plan A. Just keep on moving. You're doing well. Get games 1-2-0. Yeah, would love to. We seem to be learning, sticking it out, smothering teams to get results. Jose, I just, I don't want to over egg this pudding, but I don't remember a team that you couldn't get a shot against for 3 games. I've seen good defensive teams. Jose Mourinho's parked the bus teams, but you could get shots. They were blocked and stuff. I don't feel like teams ever have the ball in our area or near it. Today, I think Crystal Palace played about as well against us as anyone has done. I'd say Palace played better against us than Liverpool did at Anfield, but it just didn't. They didn't have a Szoboszlai on there to score that miracle free kick. What do you think, Tansy?
No, I was just saying, look, was it Palace went into our box, or had 15 touches in our box? We had 25 in theirs. So,
yeah. We are smothering game. We don't look threatened by anyone.
I thought the ref had a good game.
Yeah, I did. His first ever time he's refereed an Arsenal match as well.
Yeah.
He can come again.
What was his name again? Thomas Bramall. Apparently he's a Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United fan, something like that.
Oh, he's had a tough time then if he's a Wednesday fan. Honestly, was that his name? Bramall?
Thomas Bramall.
I can't find that information. Yeah, I mean, I obviously didn't know him very well or anything. So, but I thought you kept the game going. I do. If I have a criticism, actually, of Arsenal currently, I would say a lot of players tend to try and get free kicks you're never going to get, and they roll about a little bit. But is what it is, right? I wish you all good night. I have work in the morning. Have a good week, Mr. Tom. Brilliant to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope to get you on for a movie chat soon. Let me know when you're free. Charles says, I have a gut feeling until Aston Villa away, December 6th, we will rack up wins. I also have a parallel gut feeling that this season looks a whole lot familiar to 2016-17 Leicester, and this fan base will explode if not in a million years. I mean, if you do feel like that, I'd put a tenner on Bournemouth. I'm assuming you think you can't. I mean, you honestly can't be saying you think Tottenham are going to win the league. There's not, who's still in contention? I think Man City will still be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. Liverpool will be. I think the top three will be as you'd expect it to be. But it's the joy of football. Russ Morgan says, you can see why Liverpool pursued Gahey. They need a change of defence. Yeah, I was surprised they didn't go for a right back. They put a lot of stock into this Leone, and it's an anterior cruciate ligament, so it's very unlucky that he's injured. He might have been the answer. But when they didn't sort out the Konate issue, he looks like his head is gone and he wants to leave. For me, I think point a finger at Mo Salah, and everyone's saying, "Oh, he got the new contract. He's not playing as well." He has dipped since January, but I don't think Virgil van Dijk's getting the magnifying glass on him enough. I don't think he's played well. I don't think Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk is walking around chucking his arms in the air, complaining about how bad everyone else is playing. I don't think he's playing well at all.
I actually like the way Ross has actually spelt Liverpool.
How's he spelled? Let me have a look.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. That's definitely deliberate. Take care, Tom. He's saying. And Charles says, Gabriel, man of the match for me. Apart from goal, Eze didn't look that great. Although him taking familiar positions for set piece rebounds breeds confidence. He's pretty good at that. Team has realised. I thought we were first to second balls more than we often are, winning our aerial headers, and they were counting a little bit more. Squad depth. Listen, it's a really tough one for me because I'm not going to argue anyone who thinks Gabriel was man of the match. He was outstanding. For me, it's either Gabriel, Declan Rice, Eze,
Timber.
Or Jurriën Timber, yeah. I mean, it's hard not to... Jurriën Timber's one of those players, isn't he, where actually he should be getting loads of man of the matches. He's fucking brilliant. He is outstanding, but he's so regularly outstanding, you take it for granted. He is absolutely on track, I would say. I'm just going to give this a deep think because I don't want to say it and then regret it. But I'm trying to think who our best player of the season so far has been. And I don't think I'm miles off if I say Jurriën Timber.
No, I mean, to be honest, last season, if someone said who is your player of the season, I would have gone either Gabriel or Timber.
Yeah, and then Gabriel was injured for a bit, so it made it. Yeah. I mean, this season, I would say top 5 players for me in no particular order. I'd say William Saliba, Jurriën Timber, Saka, Rice, and Gabriel Magalhaes. They're probably over the course of a season, but look, the other thing is, right, we need to figure out what we're going to get David Raya to do.
Did you put Zubi in that?
No, he's just outside the top 5 for me. Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he will be in the top 5 for a long time.
What about Calafiori?
Yeah. Okay. So the thing with Calafiori is, I don't like. He has had really bad games. All right, Calafiori at Newcastle, that was shit. The top 5, I don't think any of the top 5 I just mentioned have had a seriously bad game. But it's early days still as well. No one's played that many games. Declan Rice is just a phenomenal engine for me. Bukayo Saka is our one truly world-class player. Jurrien Timber is just immense, and I hate the idea of him not playing. Gabriel Magalhaes, I can't say anything more about him, but the fact that when I looked at the team sheet today, the first name I was looking for was to see if Gabriel was going to be on there, because he just makes me feel so safe and so secure. He's just such a strong candidate for, like, he feels like our captain, Yeah. But it's still early days. I could still see Zubimendi getting into the top 5. I don't think Jurrien Timber will drop out of the top 5. I think Saliba might do, and God knows he might be injured. I have no idea. Does anyone have any news on that? Jose saying, I'll concede that I've never seen Arsenal win a title in my 20 years, but I've seen a lot of other title winners, and this Arsenal look apart. My fingers are crossed. Yeah, it's so early days. So none of us want to go too soon. Nobody wants to say that we look like title, but we do. But you have a much better idea at Christmas. So let's just enjoy it to Christmas. Let's just carry on doing what. Let's imagine if we're 10 points clear at Christmas. Let them fucking talk what they want. Let's talk Black Swan moments. Been a long since son was called Double D. What was that about?
It's when you're going on about your.
All right, I'm gonna go through some of these. I need a wee. So can you keep them interested while I go off for a moment?
Oh, Gordon Bennett. Okay. Keep you interested. But where did Dan get up to with Rosie and a Double D? I'm trying to look now. Type amongst yourself, lads and lasses. I'm lost now. Oh, there he is. Anthony Herbert, you had the same points as me, Dan, I think. That must be fantasy football. I don't know what you're on about, Mr. Herbert. How's that cider anyway? Is it all right for you, mate? I hope it is.
He's giving away free drinks, isn't he? I can feel it. I can actually feel it in my bones. Don't do that. Do it. Right, I'm going to rattle through these because you're right. It's been a long time since I caught up with the chat. And you had the same points as me, Dan, I think. I know, but I wish that were true. Who has the most points in your league, Dan? You're in it. You're like bottom. What you could look. Rosie, Mark Goldbridge's chat is something else. I know. There's a segment of our fan base who basically celebrate when we lose. Exactly. Arseholes, that's called. Some people ask why I'm not giving them views, and it's frankly that they aren't acting like fans. I thought we all fall in love with this football club. Abso-fucking-lutely. Well said. Charles says, after Atletico 4-0, did fans expect 4-0 against Crystal Palace? Also, football doesn't work like that. Don't cheer only when entertained. Cheer when the team's in the depths. Have a gold star for that comment. I fucking love that. We have to behave as we would want them to behave. You can't give 60% because you're not sure it's going to happen and then be angry they don't give it 100%. They have to believe as well. I look at the situation as a whole. Personally, everyone plays a part, from the manager to Berta to the owners down to the players. All had to come together to achieve this. Absolutely. But will we blame them all equally if we fail? Unlikely. It's against the law to agree with Jose. The police would be in touch. Because, as Anthony said, agreed. Even Mertesacker in the academy will slow down. Although I'll give him some credit. Fuck it. Arteta seems to be thriving when the cameras and attention is not on him. Seems like it's working for everyone. I agree with that. But I also think, look, don't underestimate the power of having Gabriel Heinze in there as well. When Eze scored, I thought it was really interesting that Stuvenberg was right there and he went kind of hugged him briefly and then went straight to Gabby Heinze. I think they are a team at the moment. Massive for you guys. Shut down opposition teams. Unbelievable. Stay tuned, Jose. I am releasing the Gluminati, the first episode, which is called Emergency Session. Shane Gooner, aka Danger Mouse, he's in it. Boring Arsenal. That's how we are. I'm eating humble pie every match week. Shit happens and I've got a big appetite. I love it. That's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. Absolutely love it. The High Septon Anthony, I love that one as well. And the Gollum was the one that got me. He's more Roland Rat. Yep, I can see that, Rosie. I miss Roland Rat. Revenge. United look like they're starting to click. If the EPL and the SPL had a tagline this season, it'd be expect the unexpected. Looks like a non-Glasgow team is going to win the SPL. No? Dan Zanzi, if your recent second place finishes we did, if Arteta has to be taking 2 or 3 important lessons for the team, what would that be? I think they're all about squad depth, trust your bench, play youth players, and rotation. I want to see us going around like a rotisserie chicken. But, Zanzi, any thoughts on that?
Well, the big thing is in the fact that we've actually got squad depth this season. Not only that, but the whole team, even including all those players that we brought in, want us to win it.
Yeah, I feel like fans. They feel like, people have said it in the last couple of weeks, we've got a team of Arsenal fans. Have we ever had that before? I really feel that way.
Yeah, I said that a couple of weeks ago. So we got a whole team of Arsenal fans playing for us.
Yeah, I think it was, I remember you saying it. I know about you, but I read the spoilers for the season, so I'm pretty calm. Yep. Casemiro, Cunha, and the fights and the right sport got shots. Target have nastiness in it. I really liked Cunha yesterday. I think Mbeumo's been your best signing for years. We can win the Prem with Gyok scoring 10 goals. Really, we could win it without him. We've got 80. We've got the most goals we've ever scored without a striker. Let's not sleep on Havertz. Agree. I'm not sure why people thought we were getting a Haaland. I know. But it's because you read the stats, I always felt guilty about Football Manager. I wouldn't always watch a player play. I'd just sign him. If he has a 20 finishing, I'll sign him. Felt like people were doing that with Victor Gyökeres, and it doesn't work like that in real life.
But Man City has scored 15 goals and Haaland has scored 11 of that. So you take him out the side and they got 4 goals.
Well, this is what, people were saying. The Liverpool fans at the start of the season were saying the mark of champions is when you play badly and win. And I was saying, yeah, but that's what we said about City last season. And it goes against you when you stop winning and then you're out of the league, This, in the last couple of weeks, Man City fans have been sticking their chest out saying, it's true that we're a one-man team, but he's such a good player. He can carry us over the line. And I don't know if they're wrong yet, but I'd rather be in our position than anyone else's. That's all I can say at this point.
Yeah.
And even if we were 3 points behind at this point, I'd still, does Gyökeres make his own cheeseburgers? I watched, I am doing the food. Listen, I'm going to do football food. Rosie, get involved. I want to do, I've got to stop eating so much, but I need to bring in my love of food into football. So we're going to I might do a watch along with a food along. Christmas is going to be great. So much time on my hands to just do live streams. Gyökeres will find his levels for us. This team is still learning each other's strengths. And I don't know if I think that Gyökeres' strength is going to make him an all-time goal-scoring legend for us, but I don't care. I don't think a team needs 24, 25 superstars. You need players who are going to play for the badge. And I've seen that from Gyökeres so far. So he's got my support whenever he needs it. And he scored with his cock. So, I can't remember last time I saw Thierry Henry do that. They thought we were getting Haaland because he scored 40 goals in Portugal. Use your brains, lads. No one's going to do that. Boy, Teddy, no one's going to start using their brains. Don't be silly. The league is not poor. The last few years of the Premier has seen some of the most top of bottom competitive all time. It's interesting. I love your point because what we mean by poor is how easy it is for the top team to win it, I guess. But there are other conversations to be had. Like this could be the first season in 7 or 8 where all 3 teams haven't gone straight back down again. In fact, this might be the first time I can remember where all 3 promoted teams have stayed up. I'd love to know when that last happened. You genuinely look at a team like Wolves and they're really struggling at the moment on 2 points. But one of the points they got was away to Tottenham where they looked like they were going to win it. A team like Wolverhampton Wanderers should not be able to nearly beat second or third place teams. But that's how close the gaps between the teams are. Crystal Palace, Brentford, Bournemouth. I mean, Nottingham Forest is shit again. But last season, you just don't know, do you? Congratulations to Jamie Curtin, first player ever to score a goal in each of the top 10 tiers of English football. Is that right? Oh, my goodness. Hats off to you. Not fully because it's a bad hair day, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, that's a point. Yeah, you know, Wolves today not scoring. They're the first team in the English top flight who haven't won in 2 seasons on the top any of their first 9 games.
God, is that true?
Mm.
I like Wolves as well. This is not right, what's happening to them. But it's always a challenge, isn't it? Selling best players, staying in with it. That's why you've got to give Iraola so much credit, because somehow he's lost his entire back four and come good. Mosquera has been a great hit in the transfer window at 15 million quid. Hi, Rosie. I'm fine, thanks. Great to see you put the Kilties in their place today. That's a football thing, I think. No one gets a shot on us because the defending is genuinely done from the front. Yes, and like that's one of the reasons I love Gyökeres. Great point, Boytendia. I mean, I don't know of another team who is so happy to get involved as first defence. You know, the first, like when a Palace player's got the ball in his own third and 3 of our players descend on him, you do kind of think, yeah, this isn't, it's incredible. The work rate of our team has got to be higher than anyone else's. Teams have to work and that's perfect timing. Boytendia. Sometimes I think you're just a step ahead of me. Teams have to work incredibly hard just to get the ball out of their own half against us. This is beautiful to watch. A nightmare to play against, indeed. I think we frankly have to finish free kicks with dives because of how consistently teams will park the bus against us. Yeah, they park the bus, but then give away a corner. Like, desperate not to give away corners or free kicks. Virgil van Dijk has been poor this season. I don't think, I don't hear a lot of people saying it, but definitely if you want to blame someone. Lucky Singh says, I thought if Fighton showed his eye yesterday, close up best midfield 3-1. I thought Man United played with lots of belief, but then I thought Ruben Amorim was trying to throw it away. You know, the substitutions were a bit soon, I think. And then you looked like you were going to, I mean, if that had been a draw, it would have been awful. Virgil van Dijk's auditioning to be your favourite rapper's video vixen, the way the street's been talking about him lately. Boys, sorry, I can't. I told them about Timber. What the fuck you know about my son? Nothing. Just watch the movie. Ray should sign autographs. That's such a good idea. That is a fucking brilliant idea. So you have like a row of school kids all having their picture taken with Raya in goal while he's playing.
Why school kids? I'll be fucking there as well.
Yeah, well, you know, it might not. I don't know. It might. It's just a jovial idea, isn't it? It's not as good as if you don't know. But yes, you can have your picture taken with Raya in goal during a match.
Yeah,
I love that. Doesn't have to be on the pitch.
Imagine if there was kids there taking penalties against him.
Okay, that's one of those poorly timed moments where I took a drink. That was excellent, very good. Oh, you left the double D chat on the screen. Right, Razor. I'm off. My eyes are going, and the matchsticks aren't holding them open. So I'll say good night. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Herbert.
Wee ears, big arms, Earth dipped in sherbet, Herbert, Anthony. If this tractor will be fully operational. Dan doesn't rate Mertesacker in the academy at all. I'm coming round to him, but no, not really. There's a conversation to be had about Haaland. But when my biggest anger at losing people like Mario Kosciuszko has been made a little bit more tepid by the fact that he's not doing it in League One. So, like, I saw Aidan Heaven came on for Man United yesterday. Don't miss him. Chido Obi Martin. Where's Chido Obi Martin? I thought he was the best striker in the world.
Oh yeah, I mean he's scoring goals for fun, and then goes to Man United, and yeah,
I'm not sure what he's doing now, but might work in the canteen. Did you know that Mertesacker is rated one of the best heads of youth development football manager? Whatever it is he does, they believe he's good at it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think the jury's still out for me. We've not got the next generation coming through that we had under Liam Brady was a difficult time, but Steve Morrow was an outstanding producer. I mean, don't forget, like all the Miles Lewis Skelly's, Ethan Wanyeri's, Bukayo Saka's, Emil Smith's, Rose Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, they're from a time before Mertesacker. What we have under Mertesacker now is the continuation of the work that's been done with Miles Lewis Skelly and Ethan Wanyeri and obviously Max Dowman. Give him some credit for that, of course. But in terms of acquiring talent to the club, we're losing out. And some of them are not staying. Chido Obi Martin didn't want to stay. Something's not right. And anyway, I'm not going to spend tonight. I mean, if there's one thing that can make me grumpy, it's talking about Per Mertesacker. But I'm prepared to admit it's from a place of ignorance. Night Flumps, See a Hero, or Herb, sorry. TLC, Anthony. He's much loved. Everyone. Lone Star Londoner. How good to see you.
Yeehaw.
Been missing you. I've watched all of Yellowstone. I know it's not set in Texas, but it does make me think of Texas. Makes me think of you and the steaks. How is it in Texas tonight? / this afternoon. And welcome. Where have you been? What have you been up to? Give it security. Right, here we go. The one detail FM is missing is a dynamic finishing rating when strikers are off form. So you're obviously playing. I mean, I can't wait to play it, but is it good? And then he says, FM is missing a lot of details, really. I would make hidden mentals more powerful and normalize potential ability rankings across all players. But that's too spicy for modern gamers. Interesting. They should make it more moddable, more changeable. Security is chasing down BX right into the sunset, sir. Lone Star London. I ain't even seen an Arsenal striker score with his cock, Only cockers can accomplish such a feat. Maradona couldn't score with his cock. Mind you, he did do a lot of gear, so... just 9 games gone.
With his hand, though, didn't he?
That wasn't his hand.
Oh, no, that's true, yeah. He had God's hand.
Mano de Dios. Boy Tendio. Delighted West Ham, Wolverhampton, yes. Congrats to Glasgow Rangers. They finally won a league game. I'm taking more of an interest in Scottish football now that this could be a generational season where Glasgow doesn't win everything. Hearts will win the SPL this season. Good. Hearts in the right place. Steer clear of copperheads, camouflage well, and strike fast. Just another day on this ranch. I can only highly recommend if you haven't seen it. But you said you've seen it. I think you were telling me it was great before I watched it. 1883. Zandy?
It was. I think 1883 was probably the weaker out of the lot.
Really? What, you've seen 1923 and you rate it more highly?
Oh, hang on. No, sorry. 1883 was better than 1920. Sorry, no, 1923 was the weaker one because that's
when I can't. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren doing poor accents and just being really dull. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I've watched the first 2 episodes now and just don't care. It's 2 series of it as well. 1883, I have to say, I think is one of the best bits of. Can't really call it television, can you? But it's one of the best series I've ever seen. I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Rosie straight in with, he can't sign autographs. He's too busy running to the local shops. Yeah, he could be skinning up for the other players. Yeah, that would be it. Making them cigarettes for halftime. Arsenal 25-26 coming together and forming like Voltron. Now, there's all kinds of people. You'll have just ruined Jez's life because Shane Goon will be going, it's people saying things like that randomly in their own homes, happy. That's made me so upset about the world. That's what he's saying right now. We'll win 2 trophies this season. I only want 1. Honestly, I'll take 1. Am I lying? I am. I just want a Premier League. I don't give a shit about anything else. I know that, don't get me wrong, winning the Champions League would be the most amazing thing. But if we won the Champions, this is going to hear me out, right? Hear me out. Everyone, buckle up. You've got to hear me out on this one. I know how much we all want to win the Champions League. I know how hard it is to have never won it. I get all of that. But if we went on and won the Champions League this season and didn't win the Premier League, you'd have to ask why we didn't win the Premier League. Something's gone wrong, because even if Man United put a real streak together, if we can just grind out results, if we start losing games, something's gone wrong. I don't want us to lose more than 3 or 4 games this season. And Man City and Liverpool are already at that. So I think if we don't win the Premier League, something's gone awfully wrong. And I don't know if just winning the Champions League would explain it for me.
I'm with you. I've always put winning the league as the first thing. And then if we win something else after that, it'd be a bonus.
Yeah. There's one trophy that's harder to win than all the others. Now, arguably, the Champions League has always been harder to win because it's harder to qualify for. But that's not true in the last 30 years. It's been fairly straightforward to qualify for the Champions League. Not as easy to qualify for the Champions League as the Premier League, but the one that you have to play 38 games to win is the hardest one to win. The most unforgiving. And we know that. We've been second 3 times, and it's been a huge effort to come second. So to come second again, I'd start to worry we were never going to do it.
Well, it's crazy in the fact that we've got 6 English teams in the Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're all going to do quite well, looks like. Even Tottenham, somehow. Ranch is a full-time job. It's 75 degrees. Fall is coming. Yeah, I get this sense that Cowboys work too fucking hard, man. Do you know what I mean? Because she's never left England, Ireland, Sweden, Austria, Germany to go and live in America if it's that fucking difficult. Vex AJ. Hello, Dan. It's very early. Mikel has changed this team big time, but he needs a big cup now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have many games. Let's not bottle this thicker. Great to see you. Great points. Yeah, I think we all feel that. All keeping our powder dry. No one's saying, where someone like Christian on AFTV says he thinks Arsenal are the best team in the world, he's allowed to say that. I'm not there yet. Well, yeah, I think I made that really clear on Friday. I think you can only really call yourself the best team in Europe if you win the Champions League. You can only call yourself the best team in England if you win the Premier League. And FA Cup and League Cups are great, but they are cups. You need a slice of luck to go your way. And if it doesn't necessarily make you the worst team. I don't think Crystal Palace were the best team in the country last season because they won the FA Cup. But I think on their day, they wanted it more. This team is more than capable of winning multiple titles this season. Absolutely. Absolutely. But my requirement is the league. Everything else, if we win all 3 of the others, I'll shut up. I won't say a word. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's good. If we win the Champions League and the FA Cup, I'll be like, yep, that's a good season, a great season. But what the fuck happened in the league? I want to know. And if we won the League Cup and FA Cup, just like we did in '93, it'd be good. But it wouldn't assuage most of the doubters. And I think I'd have some questions about it as well. How many points West Ham on now? Well, I don't want to give you the impression I'm like Google or something, but West Ham currently have, 1 second. West Ham are currently on 4 points. Yeah. So I think we're good enough to win a treble, to be frank, but it's domestic treble. It could be good enough. I think Man City obviously were good enough when they won the treble. You can be good enough to win a treble and not win it because it's a cup that determines whether you win a treble, isn't it? Our depth and rotation allows us to really compete seriously. Yes. But then saying that, if we saw a long-term injury to William Saliba, wouldn't feel as confident, or Gabriel, or Declan Rice. I mean, there are my 5 top players. Yuri and Timber, we'd miss.
Yeah,
we'd miss him a lot, and so I don't want to tempt fate. But if you project these 9 games into 38 games, we concede 12, 13 goals. We've won by 95 points or something. It's pretty strong. It's a great first 9. And the thing that's more than encouraging, yes, okay, so we only played 9 games and we've won 7, drawn 1, lost 1, right? I didn't just make that up, did I? So that's a fantastic start. But why it's really impressive is because we played Man United away, Liverpool away, Man City home, Newcastle away. And they are games that are traditionally quite tough for us. And our only really tough games left now are Brighton at home, Everton away, Liverpool at home, Villa at home, Villa away, and Man City. Man City away is the toughest game we've got left. So I think, if we lost all of those, we probably would still expect Liverpool to lose 2 or 3 more. We'd still be in the running. So I think it's been a hell of a start. But the reason I think we're all growing in confidence as a fan base is not necessarily because we've done so well in the first 9 games. It has a lot to do with the fact that other teams have done so poorly, right?
I mean, if it continues the way it's going at the moment, we'll finish on the league at 92.9 points.
Is that if you divide
22 divided by 9 times 38?
Yeah. I mean, I looked at it using 3 different systems to determine what I thought would happen in games. So previous results, the best guess at form and everything. And I came to, with the difference now, I have us at 91 points by the end of the season.
And if it keeps the way it's going at the moment, Liverpool will finish on 63 points.
Yeah. But I still have them finishing on 78. So I think they finish on 78 as it stands, but, it can still turn. The thing that I'm really, really pleased about is that after we play Spurs away, we have very winnable games. Very, very winnable games. We have a run of 5 very winnable games at a perfect time of the season, So, yeah, it's all positive. It's all good. Prem and FA Cup is a double. I'll take that all day, every day. That's an amazing achievement. I lived through 98, 2002. Yes, please. Yes, please.
We are home to Tottenham, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
we're home and away. We haven't played them yet.
Yeah, but our first game coming up is going to be home, isn't it?
The first home game we've got after Burnley away and Sunderland away is Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment, for home and away, they're currently ranked 17th in the table.
They've won 3 of their last 18 home games.
Oh no, hang on, no. So we have to look at away. Yeah, they're currently top of the away table.
Yeah, and they've won 3 of the last 18 home games.
Yeah,
they're dreadful at home and they're really good away. Which, everything changes in the North London derby. I wouldn't read too much into it, but there's reasons to be optimistic, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm greedy. I want all the trophies. You can want what you want, but you get what you work for, not what you want. Prem and Champions League, that's the ultimate, isn't it? That if Mikel Arteta wins a Premier League and the Champions League and Jez or Lee Gunner or Shane Gooner want to call him names, they can fucking do it from the bottom of the Thames as far as I'm concerned, because you get right in the sea there, wouldn't you? Like, who needs you around? Honest to God. That is so beyond what I think is even capable any Arsenal manager to achieve. No one's ever won us the Champions League. The minute you do it, and Chelsea fans say, yeah, but does that make Roberto Di Matteo an absolute legend for Chelsea? He goes, yeah, I don't give a shit who your legends are. But for me, you're a legend at Arsenal if you won us the Champions League. The captain that lifts it, the manager that picked the team, all the players in the team, and the mascots, everyone.
Yeah. Even the dog.
Winderdog can lift the trophy somehow. Yeah. I'd love that. Trophies define greatness. They do. It's how we know, because on your day, did you have what it took? And the league is so important to me because you can't do it on our day. You have to do it on 38 occasions. Each counts equally. You beat Man City 5-1. That's 3 points. You've then got to go and dig the games out. We've got a fantastic result against Newcastle, right? We got the fantastic result against Newcastle, and it would have been absolutely wasted if we'd gotten a draw at home to West Ham or if we'd gone to Fulham and drawn. But we scraped through with 3 points in each of those games, and we scraped through again with 3 points against against Palace today. If we ignore the League Cup, if next week we can get 3 points against Burnley, that's all I'm interested in.
I know we only beat Fulham 1-0, but it wasn't really a scrape because they were abject.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I completely agree. The score made it look like it was a game we dug out, but really we squeezed the life out of it and never looked worried. Similarly, the 1-0 today.
Yeah.
These are not just 1-0 defeats. They're not last-minute diving headers that secure all 3 points. There's no emotion in the games. Like Gary Neville said about us when we famously scored that last-minute winner against Bournemouth with Reece Nelson. There's too much emotion in these games. There's too much celebrating, too much anxiety. Today, none of that. Today, got on the pitch, ran around for 90 minutes. No one got hurt. Well, hopefully there's no injury. But everyone did their job, and everyone coming off the back of a highly emotionally charged game against Atletico Madrid, which we won 4-0. I think we're always going to look better against Champions League teams than we do against Premier League teams because Crystal Palace came to the Emirates. If they could get a draw, they would. Whereas Atletico Madrid came to the Emirates and we can beat these. And if teams come at us, you start Martinelli and let it all work out. I think it is going to. Rosie has posted everybody's. Please make sure you're clicking, checking, and subscribing to any of these links you haven't yet. 23 likes. I'm happy with it. But Rosie, are you happy with 23 likes? We are confident because we've conceded just 3 goals in 9 games. After 16 to 18 games, we'll know who we are in the league. Yeah, it's a fair point. Really fair point. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Bex. Click like. 7 games in November and 7 in December. So many games coming thick and fast. Yeah. The run of games that we're on, though, that starts with Burnley, Sunderland, Spurs, Chelsea, Brentford. If you look at them just as games, if you look at how we've performed against Spurs at home, we've won 4, drawn 1 of the last 5. Chelsea, I think we've lost 1 and drawn 1, 4. Brentford, we typically beat at home. So we have the next 5 games. If we win the next 5 games and Liverpool drop further points, we could be 10 points clear going into December.
That's not bad, is it?
I don't know. I don't have to satisfy the unhappy people. Zanzi, there's so many miserable people. I'm not even shitting you. It's the most incredible change in football fandom I've ever perceived. Literally, we beat Atletico Madrid 4-0. Atletico Madrid, for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm being facetious here, is the team with the manager they all wanted. There's a team that was going to put us in a spliff expeditiously if we played them last season. We didn't play them. We played the other Real Madrid team and beat them home and away. This is a manager with no experience who doesn't know what he's doing, by the way. And he's assembled a shit team. And we dismantled them 4-0 on Tuesday. And then the next day, because a guy called Christian in an interview on AFTV had said, I think we're the best team in the world. Shane Gooner said, that's ruined it for me. It's taken the edge off. Like, why are they ruining football for me? Someone says something like that, and I just think, I can't enjoy football anymore. And just think, the fuck is wrong with you? Do you have any idea? I can't, racking my brains, I can't imagine what someone would have to say to make me upset. Some person I don't know with a foolish opinion. Fuck, there's loads of them. Bottom of the Thames, that's where the attorneys are. Because we do have lawyers come in here, I love lawyers, and I wouldn't say a word against them. Di Matteo is indeed a Chelsea legend. That's what the media has to tell us in its infomercials. I really love Roberto Di Matteo. George St. Pierre settings. Let's do it. Right. I'm going to try and say, let's get some of these comments. Just need to keep working. Similar, get many quick quality back. Yep. I keep going, Man United. You need a new stadium and a new manager and a new board and new owners. But if you get all of that and some new players, I don't think there's any holding you back. Bournemouth is a trap game. No easy games. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we went into it last season thinking it was going to be easy, but we don't actually play Bournemouth until January. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We go away to Bournemouth in January. If we're 10 points clear and we lose that one, pressure's on everyone else, isn't it? Okay, we have a new person here. Radwan 10 Iffy. Great to see you. I think Gyökeres was really good today. What do you think? I think not. I don't think he looked good at all today. I think he's just he needs to improve his fitness just a little bit. He's definitely, but then it's Crystal Palace. They're no mugs, I think he definitely has earned his spot in the team, and I think for his work rate and his attitude, I pick him. I don't know who you'd pick up front instead of him. I don't want to see Marino up there. That's fair, isn't it, Zanzi?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Gyökeres is as bad as you're making him out to be. Because
I don't think I'm saying he's bad. I'm saying
yeah, but you're saying that's probably his worst game he's had.
Yeah, that's definitely his worst game he's had.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
What was the worst game that Victor Gyökeres has played?
I can't think. You got me
on that. That would suggest. Well, let me go through them.
Probably Man City.
Okay, yeah, it's close. I'll give you that. I would say, okay, so Man City, how many touches did he have? I'll put it down to how many. If you have very few touches of the ball, that's a bad thing. He was terrible against Man City. He had, let's see, he had 22 touches. Yeah, okay.
But you're looking at it on touches and stuff like that. I'm just looking at the way his work rate and the fact that he was dragging their defence all over the place again today.
Yeah. I would say it's very difficult for me to argue that he was worse today than he was against Man City. So maybe I'd agree on that. Maybe I'd say he has played one worse game this season. It was at Man City. But I just thought Man City, you kind of forgive someone being crap against Man City because they do have a solid team. And don't forget the team that he was playing when he played against Man City did have Rodri in it, Gvardiol, Diaz. Whereas today, City don't have a comparable midfield, or they're good. Don't get me wrong, on form they're good, but it just felt to me like if he'd been a bit stronger and a bit faster, like he never took his shot when he should have done one-on-one with the keeper. But I don't care because I don't see it as a team game. I don't know who I would have. I probably would have left him on the pitch anyway, just to see if he gets one. So I'm not trying to be tough on him. As I've said often, I'm glad he's on the pitch.
I can certainly see where you're coming from. But
I don't hate. I think he's got an Arsenal shirt on, and I love him. And my main criteria for an Arsenal player is, does he look like he's giving everything? And I would say Victor Gyökeres does. And I think he will get stronger. I think that the Arsenal coaches will work with him and improve him. But I don't think he's ever been a good hold-up player. And I think we might be playing slightly wrong system for him. And all of that is okay. But when you are one-on-one against a defender and you're running a goal and you're not quite as quick as that defender, that's a problem. And when you watched him in Portugal, he looked like he just barged people over, and he's not looking like that at the moment. So these are the things that he's not Erling Haaland. That's what we can all say from that.
God.
Neither was Alan Smith. I mean, you don't need to be. You can be. If you do your job, his job up front is creating space for other players. Since he's playing, I think we saw better of Trossard. I don't think that it's possible to double mark Saka in quite the same way. I think he creates space for everyone around him, and that, he wasn't alone in having a bad game today. But I think he did have a bad game today.
It wasn't good, but there again.
So to Radwan Tanifi said, "I think Gyökeres was really good today. What do you think?" I think we both don't think he was really good today.
He wasn't really good, no.
Lone Star says, held the ball up well, still gets his feet tangled up. I agree with that. I think that's fair. Be happy with 25 likes. Did we get 20? I'm happy if you guys are here. Likes are just likes. It's all vanity. We need to go low block with... you're talking about Man United. I was like, please don't inflict that on me. Sean Dyche, is that? Do you mean? I only care where we truly are. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But it's natural to look ahead. It's natural to be confident. This is what annoys me when people go, you can't be happy now. It's only October. Don't ever fucking tell me when I can be happy. I'll be happy at a funeral if I want to be. Like, I'm happy because I've seen the choices. I've lived and worked with people. I've grown up with people who are perennially unhappy. It doesn't matter how sunny it is or how well everything's going. Some people are just unhappy people. They're miserable people. I prefer not being around them. Where I can possibly avoid them, I do. Similarly, I don't need the happy clappy, everything's a moonbeam, but somewhere in the middle, I'm feeling comfortable. I think everyone in here, I think Deluded says it on his channel a lot. It's nice when you hang around with people who are like, hey, it's great to be top. I don't think it means we've won the league yet, but I'd still rather be here than not. I think that's where we all are. I mean, let me know if you would disagree with that. Zanzi, you'd agree with that, wouldn't you? Like, it's good to just be, it's okay to be happy with being top of the league without acting like it means we've won something.
Yeah, I mean, my attitude 99.9% of the time is I'm happy all the time.
Yeah.
I can't not be happy.
I'm happy 100% of the time.
Hey, here's something good for you. Last season, this year, when was St. Totteringham's Day?
Oh. It was late March. It might have been earlier. No, it would have been. I think it was one of the earliest ever. It could have been. If I had to put my life on the line, say April 6th, because I think there was some weird confluence of events that we weren't very good. In any normal season, it should have been in mid-March. Am I right?
It was the 3rd of April.
Ah, there you go.
It was. Believe it or not, 8 games to go, and we done it. Yeah.
I mean, but like I said, it would have been better if it wasn't for the fact that we were so off the pace.
Yeah.
It should really. Because obviously I do a video for Totteringham's Day. Do you know where that phrase comes from?
St. Tottering.
St. Totteringham.
No.
It's Arsblog. Sorry, Arsweb.
Oh,
Arsblog or Arsweb? The guy does. I'll have to look that up now. My memory's failed me. But the Irish fella, whose name I can never remember, Matthew, is it? Is it Arsblog? Arsweb? Yeah, he coined the phrase into the early 2000s. So we've all been using it ever since. This season, I think we may see it in April again.
What was the... I've got 2003-04. It was the 13th of March. With 10 games to play still.
The irony is that they scored that ridiculous penalty equaliser and celebrated it. It's like, what? How? The fuck are you doing? We've just won the league at your ground, and you're celebrating drawing against us.
Yeah.
Like, in about 10 minutes, all your fans will have left. We're going to be dancing around your. It's just Tottenham, innit? Bless them. But that is a seesaw of emotion being a Tottenham fan. Last week, they all wanted Frank Engine out. There's a lot of people saying he's not good enough and he needs to go. And I don't think they'll be saying that tonight. With myself in pursuit, likely. Great to see Chelsea slump up. Yeah. Do you know what's nice? It's the way that Chelsea lost. They lost without much drama, just a sort of whimper, you know? Sunderland winning in extra time. And you just think, because they go, and the goal, we could go straight over, but Stamford Bridge has been a goal, and you know, it's like the 90th, 92nd, 93rd minute. You think, oh, Chelsea have done it. And then they say Sunderland have scored, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, this is a good day. But I remember thinking, oh, Chelsea losing, that means, you know, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City can't all lose. It's probably only one of them's going to lose, and this is the one I didn't want to lose. And then Liverpool go ahead and lose anyway, and thinking, oh, well, City will definitely beat Villa. And then it doesn't, weekends, Carlsberg don't do weekends, but if they did.
Yeah.
I remember telling friends, sorry.
Well, sorry, I was going to say, what was the stat I heard after about 15 minutes today is that they're saying it's still 0-0 at Man City, Villa, Man City, but Man City have had something like 80% possession. So I think, oh, they're going to fuck him in then, aren't they? And then,
I don't think that was right, because I was looking at the I was watching the game on a little readout from the betting. I hadn't had a bet on it, but I thought I would. I was obviously going to put money on when City went a goal down. I was thinking, do you know what? I should probably bet on them because they'll come back against Villa. You know, they're in good form. And the stats I was looking at didn't look that good at all for City. First half, maybe. Let me just look into it.
I mean, they had 53%, but literally after it might be in the first 10 minutes, and that they had something like 80% possession.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. For the first half, It was Villa. It was definitely Villa. Statistically, in the ball possession for the total game, Villa had 47%.
Yeah.
Man City would have won it on XG, but for the first half, Villa had 54%, and it was mostly second half. Man City had all the ball, but just couldn't do anything with it because they only got one player who can score. And can we finally put the Foden versus Saka debate to bed now? Would you swap Foden for Saka? I don't think so.
It's never been out of bed for me.
No. I remember telling friends we used to do that Easter Catholic thing. They'd never heard of it. Are you talking about egg rolling? Like, rolling your chocolate eggs down a hill seems like a silly thing to do with chocolate eggs. Just saying. But in Austria, we do we bash boiled eggs against each other, brightly coloured boiled eggs, and if your egg smashes, you get to eat it. It's called Eierbecken. I think they do that in a lot of Catholic countries. His attitude is a bonus. He doesn't sulk. He's always fighting. I agree. Jose, I agree. That means a lot to me as well, you know. Carlos Beliebers still want for summer. Just need to get head down effort. Do you know what? Man United fans, you've got to stop wanting people because you can't. Enough now. You've spent money. You've got too many fucking players. Sell some. Jadon Sancho had to come off, didn't he? I saw that. He was injured today, I think. Make sure work on game now. Rindu is someplace. The biggest difference for me this time around is that we're top. We look like we deserve to be there, and we actually have a genuine chance to go and win it. I agree with all of that, but I don't think that you can discount the fact that City and Liverpool look so awful at the moment. And Rosie to let us know that we have 25 likes. Now I want 50. I don't think we're going to get there. But if you're watching this on catch up, your duty to this pub and the people who love you so much is to hit a like and hype as well. Don't forget to hype and share and watch all the way through.
You know, Rosie's little avatar just back then always reminds me of a stamp.
It does a bit. Yeah.
It's got those bits at the bottom.
It always looks, to me, it looks more like a comic. You know, it looks like a comic. Like if Lorraine Kelly was, it is Lorraine Kelly, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Lorraine Kelly was a superhero. Today, Arsenal were often slow, deliberate, cautious, patient. Again, we passed it backwards and sideways between the three at the back. I'm cautious but confident. Long way to go. Fair. We weren't our cut and thrusting best, that's for sure. Pure speculation, but where can we win the league if the opportunity arises? Oh, well, that's a great question. The reality, though, is I would have to do some thinking on it because I still have Man City to win the title.
No, today was the longest Arsenal had been playing without having a shot on target at home.
Okay, that makes sense. But if you're a goal up, do you need to? That's it. It must be from I'd get it. It wasn't a great performance, but nice to still pick up 3 points from those games. As to the question, I would say, look, let's assume Liverpool are out of the title race. I think I would target the 11th. The earliest I could really see us winning the league is probably the 18th of April. Because we go to City away. If they're, let's say, if we beat them and they're 12 points behind us and there's only 5 games to go, still, so maybe 25th of April, maybe the 2nd of May. I think this one goes to the last 4 games this season. I don't see it not, but I'd love to be wrong on that. Dearly love to be wrong. House of Dynamite on Netflix is good. Now we've started watching this 1923. Meh. If it was Arsenal looking like Pool or City, would have written off the league. If it was Arsenal looking like Pool or City, would you have written off the? Well, that's a great question. I would be disinclined to write a league off in October under any circumstances. Last season, when Liverpool took that lead against us, I put it down to they haven't played any of the top games yet. We haven't started clicking and gelling, but if we start to gel, I'm not worried. And then we never did. And we never really struggled. We never picked up with too many draws. We never got going, and City never got going. If this was City of 3 or 4 years ago, you'd have to go, fuck, this is going to be hard now. But this is a whole different thing. I mean, even those City teams weren't preventing... Let's all try and get our head around the fact that in the last 3 games, I think, depending on where you get your stats, we've either had 2 shots on target against us in 3 games or none. That I don't remember any team being that unbeatable. I mean, even if you score every time you get a shot on target against us, even if every team always scored with every shot on target, we would still only have conceded 2 goals in the last 3 games, or possibly not at all. What do you do if you're a team going like, well, we won't get a shot, but hopefully David Raya goes off for a packet of cigarettes and I don't know, like someone back passes to him, not realizing he's not there. That's the only way we're conceding at the moment.
Either that, or he's just fallen asleep leaning against the goalpost.
I'm so convinced that Ray is hating his football at the moment. I'm so convinced. He's like, I want to do something. Let me play. I want to be in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, have a shot. I'm good at saving shots. Have a shot. I feel like we're a couple of games away from him rolling it out deliberately. To a Sunderland strike. We might be 4-0 up or something. He goes, look, you just have a shot from there. Go on. He's going to start shouting at defenders for not letting opposition strikers have a shot. He's going to start dribbling it out like Warrior of the Rovers to see if he can score. I mean, like I would not be surprised.
Yeah, but if he's going to roll it out to a Sunderland player, just make sure it's not Granite.
Yeah, I mean, what a signing he's been for them, huh? Chelsea can join the title race. Not ours, they can't. They're not joining our title race. Well, what title race are you talking about? Title race, behave. Chelsea aren't in the title race. I didn't think they were in the title race before. It's Lorraine Kelly. What did I say? I said Lorraine Kelly, didn't I? Hunted or Hunted? Yeah, British TV series catching up on now. Bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. Have you seen Hunted? Oh, right. Okay. No, I haven't seen any of these. Brian says, why you have City to win? Just curious. I tell you what it is. It's just I don't like to do predictions from the start of the season, but at the start of the season, I used 3 different statistical metrics to work out whether I thought a fixture would be won. So I logged them all. So it's it gives you a value for it gives you a points value for every game, and then using that points value to predict whether they'll win. So using my model, Man City would have won against Wolves away. They would have got 1 point at home to Spurs, 1 point away to Brighton. And using that model, I predicted that they would currently be on 15 points with a very difficult start to the season, if not quite as difficult as ours. They're actually on 16 points. And when you go all the way through the league, I have them. There are not many games I see them losing. I do see them possibly drawing, Spurs away, Man United away. But all that is to say I didn't have them. I did have them winning a point against Villa today, and they didn't. So it's only a prediction, and I accept that it's flawed. The reason I don't usually do these predictions until December is because one of the metrics that you input has to do with current form and how they're actually playing, which I couldn't do at the start of the season. But certainly taking a look at past performances and measuring whether I thought that their squad had improved or diminished because of the transfer window, I really felt that Man City had a good transfer window and that they would likely improve because Rodri would be back. It hasn't quite worked out as I said it would, but like I said, they're overperforming where I thought they'd be. And if that continues, then according to this, which is just a system of prediction, I wouldn't put too much store on it. I certainly haven't put money on it. But I have forecast that Man City will therefore finish on 93 points and that we will finish on 91 points.
What's the prediction for the 9th of November when City play Liverpool?
Yeah, so this is what's really fascinating because I have that is when City, hang on. So I have, that is one of the hardest home games, away games Liverpool have all season. It's not the hardest. Strangely, Brighton is harder, but I have that game down as a draw, which is great for us, you know?
Yeah, because we'll be beating Sunderland the day before.
In theory. But, I mean, have Sunderland lost a home game this season?
No.
So it's not that solid. Like you wouldn't.
No.
Are you betting your house on it? Probably not. But then, you know, if we draw with Sunderland and they only get a draw, we're no worse off and we're still 6 or 7 points ahead. That's okay. Where are we at? Lone Star BritBox is changing for sub and episodes of some things. Makes me mad. I feel like we're winning, but I think the way we're playing is not sustainable and it will catch up to us. I think it is sustainable. I don't think it's at all sustainable to prevent every team you play getting a single shot on target against you. That by dint of the fact no one's ever done that before, that's unsustainable. But I tell you what has been significantly sustainable, seemingly season after season, is we have a very tight defense. It's looking tighter now than it ever has.
But I think somewhere during the match before that shot from Eddie was on target, which it wasn't really a shot, to be honest, I think. I think they said that Man City some years ago had 3 games where no one had a shot on target against them.
Even the City sides never had phenomenal defenses. You're talking about mid-20 goals against the season, which is great, you know. But 26 to 33 goals against in a season is kind of what you expect from a good team. The Liverpool team that clocked up 99 points still conceded 33 goals in that season. Obviously, I don't see how the best Man City team conceded 23 goals in 18-19, right? What we're looking at now, if it were sustainable, I don't see how it can be, but we would concede about 13, 14 goals this season. That is fewer goals than the Jose Mourinho team conceded. And I don't remember people slagging Jose Mourinho off for his achievement winning the title. But they'll slag us off.
Oh, God, yeah.
Arsenal on a par with Liverpool City. Finally, we have a squad to go. Do you know what? I'm going to say this. I think we've got a better squad than Liverpool. If you looked at who's got the most expensive players, they're winning. But Joe Gomez, Konate, and Virgil van Dijk are their centre backs. Konate's all over the place at the moment. Virgil van Dijk looks like he's past his best. And Joe Gomez is not bad, but he's not great. So I think we have 4 out-and-out centre-backs. If you look at Hincapié and Mosquera, Gabriel and Saliba. We then also have Timber and White who can play there, as well as Calafiori. I think our back 4 is a back 8. And I don't see that anywhere else. I think Man City are really struggling to put a back 4 together with any consistency. So at least in defence and goalkeeping, I think we're standing well ahead of anyone. Donnarumma may well be the best goalkeeper in the world, but he still couldn't stop Villa scoring. And that's not on him necessarily. Part of that has to do with they have no one. I think the biggest problem at Liverpool as well is that they don't have anyone shielding the back 4. They don't have anyone shielding the centre-backs. Gravenberch has not been able to play. And when he has, they haven't used him in quite the same way. So I think if you looked at our squad, every position, there's 2 people who can play it. I don't see anyone else in the league that can say that. You look at Crystal Palace can be brilliant against us in this part of the season, and they can go 19 games undefeated, which is great and everything. But if they lose Mark Gahey, you're expecting them to finish in the mid-table, right? I think there are 2 or 3 players, if we lose them, it would make a significant dent on our title hopes. Declan Rice, William Saliba, Bukayo Saka. But almost everybody else we could probably live without, you know? So I think we finally have the squad to go toe-to-toe. I think we have a better squad than those teams. And if Man City find a way to connect Cherki and Reinders and Foden and Silva and, you know, they have great players, but they're not playing like great players at the moment. Lone Star agrees. Yes, we do. Hunted is on Prime. I might give it a choice. I'm starting to watch. I watch very much less. Potential games for us: Bournemouth, Villa, Spurs. So, looking at games where you would expect it to be tough for us, the toughest game coming up for us is Everton away. And that's on the 20th of December. Over the last 5 years, we've accumulated fewer than 5 points. So realistically, Everton, don't ask me why, but we lost 3 in a row. We won 1 and we drew 1. So we've accumulated 4 points out of the last 5 visits to what was then Goodison Park, right? I've totally forgotten whatever it's now called, Hicks Stadium, Hicks Boson Stadium, I don't know. So that's probably the biggest one. Spurs, as we've already said, we play first at home. And Spurs don't do well at the Emirates. They've got 1 draw in the last 5 years. So you just never know though. I'm sure Liverpool didn't go into the Crystal Palace game thinking it was going to be a banana skin. I'm certain they didn't think Man United at home was going to be a problem. And I don't think a lot of their fans really thought Brentford would turn them over, even if it has a G-Tech. So you just don't know, do you? 3 months into the season and 2 away from January, does anyone think any big activity happens in the window? Also, do we need anything other than a left winger? Zandy, what do you reckon?
If we could get from... I'm talking very slowly because I want to find out. I forgot what the player's called now.
Kvaratskhelia. Are you looking at left wingers?
No.
Because I'm pretty sure Berta isn't.
Semenyo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
No, but he's not going to go anywhere. But there again, he's an Arsenal supporter.
Yeah, so is Ollie Watkins.
Who would you rather, Ollie Watkins or Semenyo?
No, it's not about that. My point is Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Let's say that they're probably not second, all right, come January. But there's a very good case to be made for them still being in the top 4, isn't there?
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying come January, come the January transfer window.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, but I don't think Semenyo is going anywhere.
No, and I think the reason he's not going anywhere is because if you're the Bournemouth chairman and someone says, look, we'll give you 70 million for Semenyo, you go, but if we drop out of the top 4, we'll lose 100 million. I'd rather keep him.
Yeah, he's apparently Semenyo's got a contract agreement, but they haven't given out what that.
Yeah, that's a good point. If there's something in there that says 50, 60 million or that, I just don't think we want to spend 80, 90 million on Semenyo. I think if we're spending that kind of money, we probably look at Rodrigo. We may look at one of the bigger players in the world. And also, it really depends on if we... I think we will never know until books are written about it. But I think the January gone this year, they looked at it and were like, there is no point in signing a great player because even if we bring a great player in, we're not winning the league. So we might as well wait till summer.
Yeah.
And it was cynical, but I think they were right. And I hate that they were right because I think you go for it even if there's little or no chance. But they've done the sensible thing with the money. Spending money on players in January has a bigger impact on your profit sustainability regulations than it does near the end of the because most teams do their accounting in June or 1st of July. So I don't know. I just don't think that we need to be or should expect to be signing big players in January. And the only player that's ever come up when I've asked this question, who's made a difference, who's helped a side win the league, was Jose Antonio Reyes, who was bought in January. And even then, I'm not convinced we wouldn't have been invincible without him.
Yeah, but that being said, I think this, at the moment, the way we started, both Trossard and Martinelli seem to be doing quite well.
Yeah.
A lot better than I thought they would be.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree. I think, Martinelli's goal against Man City made me rethink a lot. Because I was like, if he's got that in him. Now, who is it that keeps saying this? And I think this is the best assessment of, I personally, this is not coming from me, but when you hear someone say it, you think, yeah, that is, I think it might be DG. If Martinelli has time to think about what he's doing, he's awful. But if he's in a situation where he has no time to think, he is outstanding. So I love that he's been a game changer this season. I love that he scored good goals. The goal he scored against Atletico was brilliant. He opens his body up, curls a ball, doesn't think about it, just does it. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. The games he starts, he's not always great in, but today Trossard started, and we talked about this earlier. I thought Trossard was one of the best players on the pitch today. And if things had come off for him, he would have been a certainty. If he'd scored a goal, he had all these tricky movements. He was a chaos engine. He was on the ball and difficult to get off the ball. He was a threat. Saka wasn't so good. I think this is a great comment, by the way. Lone Star. Title by Jan. Bosh. And then we can finally sack Arteta. Bosh. We need to do this for us to keep us top 9. Yeah, I think Man United could go on a bit of a run, couldn't they? I usually win when gambling in Oklahoma. Is it Oklahoma? What was the... Oh, God, what's the other variant of Holder? Oklahoma. Oh, that's going to drive me mad. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. No. What's the other variant of poker that everyone plays? Anyway, I've sidetracked myself. It's getting late. We will wrap it up in the next 15, guys. You are absolutely amazing for staying with us. January window for you guys important as well? I don't think so. I think the opposite. I don't want to bring anyone in. I think there's good team spirit. Everyone knows what they're doing. Why interrupt it? Does Jesus seem a viable option for it? Yeah, he does. I really think he is. Not in really big games, but yeah, absolutely he is. Absolutely, Jose, 100% he is. 100%.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, because he's going to be back hopefully by then, isn't he?
Yeah. No, absolutely, I think he is. And certainly to tide us through from January to May. maybe then that's the big signing next summer, that we go out and get a recognised left winger. But I think for what you said and what Jose's just said there, we've got players in those positions. I personally don't think we'll sign anyone in January. I don't either. I really don't. And then hard to say after a wounded knee. What the Calafiori is playing very well. Please stay injury-free, 100%. Lone Star, we can't be our very best without Rice. That's true. But who can be at their best? Like, I mean, look at Man City aren't at their best without Rodri. Liverpool aren't at their best without Gravenberch. At your very best, you've got your best players, right? That's what we do. Zanzi?
Sorry, I was literally looking at different formats. Do you mean Omaha poker?
Thank you. That's so embarrassing because I played professional poker for 5 years and it's one of my better variants. I'm slightly better at Omaha than I am, but I suddenly got confused. Look who it is. It's a superstar. Help him get to 100,000 subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed to DG by now, then you just don't know what you're missing out on. The one destination channel for me every single day. Keeps it. He's amusing. He's the hardest working man in YouTube. Guests he has on are outstanding. I massively tip my hat to you. I'm a huge fan, and he's absolutely right. So much. Do you know what it is nice as well? Because so much sense, so much keeping it real, so much brushing off the shit that we have to deal with. Because one of the things, like you go on DG, like always talks about how we live rent free in other fans' heads. Like every Man United, Man City, Liverpool fan knows, who we're playing pre-season friendlies, how we played. And then they want to tell us that we're not worth talking about. All of the Liverpool fans and the Man City fans who come out and tell us they're not scared of us. It's like, all right, you don't have to say things you're not scared of, you just don't mention. And so sometimes when you spend too much time on YouTube, not here, hopefully you guys all feel that we're kind of balanced and everything. We're not top or bottom gooners. It's not about division. It's about unity and community. All of that being said, you can find yourself on channels where it's just relentlessly negative, or people taking a piss, or just someone doing a picture of Christian from AFTV, or on AFTV, saying he thinks we're the best team in the world, which is kind of what you expect from an Arsenal fan base. You expect some of us to be like, yeah, we're really good. But then the next day he's compared to Peter Sutcliffe, and you just kind of go, well, that's not right, is it? That can't be right. And also, let's have a bit more banter for the other teams and a bit less for our own team. But yeah, DG, great to have you here, man. Hope you hit like.
I've just subbed to him as well.
Oh, you have to. You will, Zanzi, you love it the most because the panels of the chat are really good. The people he has on are really good. Like, it's mad because you have Kenny Ken will go on DG's channel and talk a lot of sense, and like DJB and Kenny Ken are just really balanced, really not, and then you see them on somebody else's channel and they're all part of this really irritating conversation about how things were better in the 70s. And, I think there's just, I'm a mass. It's my one stop. I was going to, if I could only watch one YouTube channel, Deluded, it's always you, sir. I'm a massive fan. The trap games I mentioned are about current form, not years past. True. Yes, fair. Listen, I'm doing a lot of this as I do sports betting. I'm not for a minute saying that there's an expression we have in betting, which is the battle is not always to the strong nor the race to the swift, but that's how you bet. And I will be the first to say that just because we lost 5 games, when we played West Ham at home, West Ham at home was marked as a difficult game because we don't seem to beat them. And then I was like, well, looking at this West Ham team, you can't say because we lost to West Ham in the last 2 league games at home that we're going to lose to this lot. So there are 2 other metrics I use. But looking at form is difficult because you have to build up some form to look at it. I don't know how to predict Burnley and Sunderland away. On paper, at the start of the season, I put 3 points. I was like, yeah, we'll definitely get 3 points at Sunderland, for God's sakes. They're going to go down. Now, I'm not so sure. When we played Man United at the beginning of the season, people complained we didn't beat them enough. They're 5th now, or 6th, or whatever it is. So form is important, but class is permanent and form is temporary. So I'm just going to say that going into matches like I'm going to use form as a guide. I'm going to say that Sunderland are playing really well. Maybe would you be disappointed if we only got a point from that and we won at Burnley, or if you pick up 4 points from those 6? But all of that being said, like, just to give you an idea of how accurate you are, the trap games mentioned they're about current form, not past years, and I agree with you. I'm 9 points wrong so far in my prediction. And I'm a point a game wrong on my prediction. So I'm certainly not sitting here saying I've got all the answers. I absolutely haven't. I did not predict that Liverpool would be as far adrift of where I expected them to be, or I wouldn't have predicted it. Kind of goes without saying, but I understand that when you're looking, that's why I don't like to predict the season at the start of the season, because I've got no idea. But by December, when everyone's pretty much played each other, you've got some idea of who's got good squad form, harmony, who looks happy. When we score goals, our team comes together and they look happy objectively. The missus sitting on the sofa next to me will say, I like the way you guys all celebrate together. You seem like a team. Liverpool don't seem to do that. Man City don't seem to do that. Man United more so.
I tell you what, there's no one in our team who celebrates like Saliba does. He's just absolutely fucking mental, he is.
He's so usually not near the action, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but as soon as the ball goes into the back of the net, that's he's charging up the bloody pitch.
It's really difficult. When you talk about Saliba, it just always puts a smile on my face. I just love that, man.
When Nelson scored that goal against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Well, Nelson was running off towards the flag on the left-hand side, and then he veered round towards the down the pitch. And Saliba kept running towards the penalty, the corner flag. Suddenly looked round, noticed no one was there, so he goes charging back up the pitch with them.
I just say, do you know what? Like, squads of players that you just love. There's just squads of players that you love, and like I think Declan Rice is quality. I think Saliba is Saliba. When you hear him talking, he really reminds me of someone I know really well. I really like. And that always makes you predisposed towards someone. But Gabriel, Timber. I mean, I'm really warming to Calafiori at the moment. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I basically just want to adopt. I just think he is the future of the club. No question for me. Bukayo Saka, just a hero, just an actual honest-to-goodness reincarnation of Rocky. Same principles, same quality, same intelligence, same durability, fight. I mean, that's the other thing. All these other channels saying he's done, he'll never be as good now after his injury. And I go like, I don't know, I'm not seeing that. I like all our players. I like them all. But Saliba just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
We're winning the league. Lol. Listen, we're all going to be, I don't care where you have to come from, get yourself to Islington for the parade, because it's going to be a generational party. It's going to make, for me, it's going to make Carnival look like a wet weekend in Margate. Release Claude Semenyo. It doesn't matter. I still don't think we buy him in January. I don't know if he should want it. And also, you see this, like, doesn't matter how good a player is. Sometimes they need a couple of months to bed in, which in January means you're basically mid-March, April, before they're any good anyway. And what difference do you want them to make? Why not just wait till summer? That's how I feel about it. Yeah, me and my friends want you guys have plans to try to win as many games as you can. That's all it is, isn't it? Win every game if you can. I'm not on the channels that are negative for the sake of it right now. I prefer people who believe we're the best team in the world and sincerely back the team. I'm with you. I'm so not doing the whole kind of... Listen, I'm trying to do parody videos that are a bit lighthearted and a bit fun and aren't too nasty. So I do spend time watching them. But I've started watching Northside London to LDN to get an idea of him, and all I can see is a guy in pain and quite an intelligent young man. And, I just think you can mix up in a wrong crowd. But when you're somebody Jez's age and you're still bitter about everything, I'm not interested anymore. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he'd be fun. I'm sure if you talk to him about wine or food, he's interesting. But football, these are tired old fucking opinions. The chat on DG's channel keeps the guests honest, and the internet has a long memory. We're still giving heat to anyone that was talking down to Mendy. They still are. Lee Gunner tonight came on and said, see, I told you it's because I watch Spanish football. I could tell you his shit. And I'm like, what is what has to happen to a person where they desperately want someone who's obviously a good footballer? I mean, to even buy that bullshit, you've got to figure that, Liverpool are wrong for wanting him. Man, every team that wanted him, Real Madrid wanted him. But I'm just doing the eye test. If you want to sit next to me at a game and tell me that you think Zubimendi's playing badly, we just disagree. There's room for disagreement. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the season, we'll know better. So far, I am absolutely loving Zubimendi's football. And not in every game, but then I didn't love every game Tony Adams played either. Can we just be real? As a fan of our club, not biased, want Arsenal, Newcastle United back top table, Premier League, get confidence again. You just want it to look like the 90s again. I think we're beating Burnley and Sunderland.
That'd be wonderful if you could. 6, as you said, 6 points out of those 2 games would be wonderful. 4 points would be good.
4 points is at least realistic, because you can talk about beating teams like Sunderland who haven't been beaten at home, but if there is a reason they haven't, I think those 2 are massive results. I think we've done enough in games that we didn't expect us to win, like Newcastle away and Crystal Palace at home, which I didn't expect us to win, looking at the forecast. And also probably on form. Crystal Palace have been on a great long run. I know they lost. They finally lost, but they've beaten, you look at teams they've beaten and you think, and they've not lost to. And they've played City. They've played Liverpool. They've played the FA Cup final. They played the Community Shield, and they've won games where you think, okay.
Mind you, that being said, Sunderland's home games have been against Brentford, which they won, West Ham, which they won, Villa, which they drew, and then Wolves, which they won.
Yeah. So
they haven't actually played anyone decent yet.
No, they haven't. Okay. All I can say is,
it's totally fair play in the fact that they are where they are because they've won those games and drawn it. But if you look at the teams they have played, I mean, if it had been like Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea that they'd beaten, you'd have said, "Wow, that's the reason."
No, listen, that's a really fair point, right? I can't disagree with that. All I can say is that they've conceded. How many goals they conceded?
2.
No, I mean in the league in total, Sunderland conceded. Oh, it is 2. No, they've lost 2. They've conceded 7.
Yeah, but they've only conceded 2 at home.
I beg your pardon. Right, okay, so they've conceded 2 at home, but like you said, they're not. There's so many ways to skin a cat in there. On the one hand, I said to you, it's a 4th place team. You're playing them away. Are you confident you get a win? No. But the 4th place team is only 4th place for the first time in 20 years and has not played anyone good. Well, then yes. But confidence is such an important part of football. Look at Nottingham Forest last season. Look at Nottingham Forest this season. If you have a confident team at home in front of a big crowd who are up for it, then it's a harder game than it's not. If you said to me, are you so confident that we'll get 6 points from those 2 matches? You'd bet 20 grand on it. I'd say no.
No.
I'd say no. But 4, I think, and apart from anything, my predictions have been so wrong. I've been so negative that maybe I am just. Look, all I'm saying is we go to Sunderland, we get 3 points. I'm happy. I don't care about anything else. We move on. Go to Burnley away, get 3 points. I'm happy. Then we've got Spurs to look forward to, and I can just deal with that as it comes.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Sunderland away is going to be a lot harder than if we were going to West Ham away.
Yeah, totally, absolutely, has to be, doesn't it? Boy, need to take our Burnley wings. 3 defense, you double pivot on. Rice set piece deliveries are exceptional. They really are. And didn't you see that?
Apart from I think it is our second corner, which is pretty crap today.
Didn't get past the. No, but you see Trossard's. Well, there was the commentator was like, "That's a really good one. It's cleared everyone." I was like, "That's not good."
Well, yeah, it went too far away, didn't it?
Yeah, but it did come to an Arsenal player. But you're like,
yeah,
you might as well not be taking them like that. But please make sure you're new here. You're subbing and pressing that like button. Nay. Thank you, Rosie. You absolute legend.
But then Trossard's next corner, that's the one where we hit the crossbar.
Yeah. Well, where Gabriel hit took the bar home with him, the post home with him. If you had to wait 9 games to say I told you Zubimendi was shit, then you've lost me, mate. Yeah. That's such a good point. A fucking great point. And it also, look, this is why I like some content creators so much and I dislike others so much. A good content creator, like when you're going to a good channel, like especially DG, you know, I'm a massive fan, right? Because of the chat. It's the chat. He says he has loads of really good people on, but you don't get someone like DG saying, I told you so. It's not all about him. It's about ideas and sharing ideas and talking about things in a rational way and having opinions. And what I always respect is somebody who listens to other people's opinions and doesn't say, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. When, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, doesn't matter who we face. They both put us in a spliff expeditiously. I'm telling you, we'll see the levels. They're miles better than us. And they say things like that, like it's a fact because they really think it. And then we beat Real Madrid home and away and they go, well, no one predicted that. That's a totally unpredictable result. And then the next game they go, but mark my words, this is people who try and tell you what's going to happen, I think misunderstand what we want from conversation. You know, I'm happy to disagree with someone and not necessarily mean that means they're wrong. You know, we were talking earlier about is this the worst game Gyökeres has ever played, or was it Man City? I went into it thinking this was the worst game. And then on reflection, I was like, I'm still not sure, but I don't know the future. I don't know. We're definitely not going to win anything with this manager. I don't know. We definitely are going to win something with this manager. I'm not looking for the constant predictions in November and October. What I'm looking for is for people to say how they feel, enjoy each other's company, share ideas, bring up points. You hear people bring up points, you think, yeah, absolutely. And that is what you get from a good content creator. And what you're getting from a bad content creator is panel shows where people talk over each other to disagree on the same fucking thing they've been disagreeing about for the last 4 years. Panel shows where people say, clip this, I'm telling you, we're definitely going to beat Brighton in the League Cup. And then we lose to Brighton in the League Cup and all they do is talk about why everybody else failed them. You know, Liverpool fans who are now going, Arne Slot doesn't know what he's doing when he just won them the league, you know, and where these people start talking about how little other people know what they're talking about. And you think, well, are you 100% sure you know what you're talking about? Wouldn't it be brilliant if we could put Lee Gunner in a simulation and have him manage the club? A perfect simulation. Maybe we'll get him on the Guna Channel FM 26 League. See how that goes. Guna, BX Gunner 81, the Hincapié rise will be fantastic. I can't wait. But then I really know nothing about him. You know, I really know nothing about him. And I do watch the Bundesliga. Gabriel is my favourite player. Loves defending. I love him. I just love the personality of the man. Forest did brilliant last season, then got rid of Nuno. I mean, that is fair.
You know, when Saka came off, I thought he's going to give the armband to Rice.
Yeah, did he?
But then he went and gave it to Gabby.
We've got a leadership team again. I'm not sure. I was watching a really interesting piece about the 3 people Tony Adams dislikes most. It was really fascinating. Mikel Arteta was in there, Martin Odegaard, Arteta, and Arsene Wenger.
They're the 3 he dislikes the most?
He dislikes Arsene Wenger a great deal.
Right.
And it was really funny. Like, I just never thought of it. But so when people are saying that's our captain, if he says something, he's always right. I go, well, how do you feel about him saying that? Like, he can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, I don't know how anyone can dislike. But he says his actual words were Arsene Wenger couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. Okay, Tony Adams, when he says Odegaard's a shit captain, everyone goes, that's Tony Adams. You can't disagree with him. I'm stuck now. Can I disagree with him on Arsene Wenger? Because I don't think I can agree with him. We've got some new people in the chat, and I'm loving it. Some of the Arsenal channels are angrier than a one-legged waiter channel. Comment of the day. I love it. Lone Star London.
I thought a one-legged waitress would be good at IHOP.
Melly, the hate we get for beating this Palace team. We've scored in every Premier League game until they played Mikel's Arsenal as well, game by game, exactly. In the end, you know, it's not going to matter to any of us what people said. You go to Islington Town Hall if you can, and you celebrate that win, surrounded by. There will not be that many Gluminati there, I promise you. It's just daft. Brilliant to have you here, O'Malley. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet. And Liquidation Guru, one of my favourite names. Sunderland is going to win the league. That's brilliant. Can you imagine that? It would be like, don't want it to happen. Of course, I don't want it to happen. But at the same time, if I can't imagine what it would mean to, especially with Newcastle not having won it and all the times they've been close, and Sunderland just pull up out of nowhere, having basically almost survived administration, being, that I watched that Fly on the Wall documentary about Sunderland, and every, you're like, oh God, please do it. And they just didn't. They were dreadful. But it's such an important part of life in Sunderland is football, and they're mad passionate about football, and I want to see them win a trophy, but I cannot imagine it. Just from the comedy, if it didn't mean that Arsenal were therefore going to lose the league, yeah, I would want that. If it can't be Arsenal, and it has to be Arsenal, but if it can't be Arsenal, it has to be Sunderland, and then I think Arteta will lose his job.
You can imagine if Sunderland won the League Cup and also qualified for Champions League with fourth place or fifth place.
Yeah, I'd be really. I did not have anything like. No, but how funny it would be if they won a League Cup or an FA Cup, but truly the most hysterical thing from an objective third-party point of view is Sunderland winning the league. But because it would mean that we've lost it, I wouldn't find it funny at all. But let's say we were having a really tough season. We were in between. It was Unai Emery period. I would love it. I loved Leicester winning it, even though we should have probably won that year. Behave. That's loads. I just spat my tea out. Don't Cowboys drink coffee? Faizan Khan, are you concerned we're having difficulty opening teams up? Always. I'm concerned about it, but we have set pieces. I think it really comes down to if they come at us or not. We're in a very unusual situation by most team standards. At even Fulham, we're 1-0 up against Fulham. And it very much looked like they just didn't want to lose 2-0. Right? That's never been the English football way ever. That's been the Italian football way. Italian football is like, well, we're 1-0 down, just defend now. Don't make it any worse than it is. Whereas in England, we've gone, well, you're as well to be hung for a sheep as you are a lamb. Let's go for it. I don't think teams ever really open up against us. But I thought that's why we brought Eze. If we're struggling to open teams up going forward in the next couple of months, and we have Gabby Jesus back, we have Kai Havertz back, Eze, Odegaard, Nwaneri. We've got lock picks now. We've got players who should be able to break down. And to be fair, Eze has done that. So today could have been a 0-0. He took his crane stance goal brilliantly. I can't get over the Saliba injury a couple of years back. Yeah, that was harsh. Because I got so much abuse, by the way, not for anyone in here. I think it might have just been the beginning of the channel. I was getting so much abuse on the Facebook channel. People saying, how can you say that about Rob Holding? I was like, I love Rob Holding. But there is a huge drop-off between having Saliba fit at the Etihad and Rob Holding. Like, if you've got to stop, if one of your defenders has to pocket Erling Haaland, you want it to be Saliba, not Rob Holding. Rob Holding couldn't get a game for Palace. Rob Holding has disappeared off the face of the footballing map. He was not a good stand-in. Jacob Kivior was an improvement on him. And I think Mosquera may be an improvement on Jacob Kivior, and hopefully Hincapié. And I certainly think I've seen enough of Calafiori to be pleased with it.
I know what one of my mates said about that game. I said, fucking Saliba being injured was bad, wasn't it? And having Holding there. He said, yeah, but Holding did score.
I know.
Said, yeah, but he still lost.
One. Whoopee. You know what I mean? It wasn't about giving Holding shit. It's like, I'm loyal to the team. I said this about Martinelli. I'm glad I seem to have been wrong about Martinelli, because I said, look, if we don't let Martinelli go, it's disloyal to the player who could be playing on the left and doing a good job. But since Martinelli scored that goal, chipping Donnarumma from a wonderful through ball by Eberechieze, I have had different thoughts about Martinelli. The way he took his goal against Atletico, I'm glad he's in the team now. We will have lots of conversations about Martinelli. What is his best position? Maybe playing through the middle would be better, etc., etc. Playing on the right today, I think he looks all right on the right. Not as good as I'd hoped he would. But by and large, I'm not worried about anything at the moment. And that's why would you worry right now? I mean, if you want to be like, this isn't sustainable, it kind of is. We're not. I know people hate XG, but XG is a decent way of looking. Look, I could look at XG and say Liverpool have lost the last 4 games, but they've had a bit of luck go against them. They haven't been their usual self. And XG sort of says if they carry on as they are, they'll win their next 4 games, or balance out again. There are obviously problems at Liverpool that extend, but they're not. It's not like they're getting dominated in games. They're just not scoring their expected goals. And we are
too open at the back.
They are conceding too many. Yeah,
I mean 14 goals. Jeez.
Yeah, but I think their XG would be lower than that. So I think they've conceded more than you would expect them to, and it does tend to balance out. Right now, they're going through a problem in their team in terms of the setup and who's playing and everything, and that will come good, I imagine. Don't live in the past, Liquid. It's fair. I mean, but I take your point about Saliba injury. I don't think that would happen now. Lots of ways to skin a catfish, to be fair. Dan, I have had catfish and I like catfish. Makes it good eating. Dan, lot of channels we get fan reactions crazy. I'm glad. I do want to be on one watch along with an insane reaction. I tried it. Gary was on with me and it was all a little bit. I'd quite like to be clipped up for that, but I don't really. I don't go mad. I don't know what it is. I like. There are games where it's so important and you're running around the room, but today when we scored against Crystal Palace, the missus came and said, "Did you just score?" She went, "Yeah," because I went, "Yes." Wasn't like, yeah. And when we lose, I'm not sack everyone. This manager. But I'm not desperate for attention. Now look here, Canterbury Gooner. What time do you call this? And bon bloody jour to you too. Have you been out on it? Great to see you though. A la Canu and Portsmouth. Lol. I love Carney. Played with a smile on his face. Didn't they, Sunderland? Would be great if Sunderland won the FA Cup and finished above the Saudi money you got. Yeah, it would be. Oh, mate, it would be. Actually, that would be enough for them, wouldn't it? If Saudi money Newcastle finished below Raw. I love the Northeast. It's so funny when you hear like in Sunderland they call them tabs. So, well, what do you call them? No, we call them tabs. All right, yeah. Well, here in Middlesbrough they call them tabs. It's like, okay, only you guys can hear the difference in your accents. You know that. But I like them all. There's not a lot going on in Sunderland. Let's be honest.
14th of December is going to be great because Sunderland playing Newcastle then.
Oh, it'd be a big game. Oh, that's a big game. They don't love each other.
No.
Slot machine has jammed. We have all been there, especially in the 80s. Yeah. Forrester, a Greek tragedy. Mate, you're on fire. Stick pins in all of these. Slot machine jamming, absolutely. Our defensive performances are indeed sustainable. No one else has a defensive system or personnel available in defense as robust. I think that, Boytendio, I agree, because I said this back earlier. You can't say it's not sustainable if we've been doing it for 3 seasons. We conceded 36, but our goals conceded over the last 4 years to this point, I would be surprised if they weren't the best. Didn't we have the best? I mean, we've had the Golden Gloves winner last 2 seasons, and I don't see who's winning Golden Gloves this season. The only thing I'd say about David Raya is he might come out not wearing gloves for the next match.
Yeah.
He might just be like, fuck it. I'm coming out in a cardigan. It's cold back there. What has Raya had to do since Voltemade scored against him? Voltemade scored against him on the 28th of September in the 34th minute of the game. Yeah. He's not had a goal go past him since then. 500
no.
in just in the Premier League. That's 500 minutes. I mean, he has actually travelled and played in Europe. Was it? Did he did play both games? Didn't he? Did play Olympiacos. What's the game Kepa pplayed? Was that the League Cup? Wasn't it? Port Vale.
That was the League Cup. Mm.
Yeah. So Olympiacos, how many shots did they have against us? Shots.
I know Atletico. I always keep saying Atletico because it's not Atletico.
Yeah.
But then there is an Atletico as well.
There's an athletic club, Bilbao.
Yeah.
But it's Atletico. Yeah, you're right. But so I don't know. I think Olympiacos did have shots against us, which would be great for him. He must just lie awake at night thinking, God, I hope someone has a shot against me. Because right now, we don't need a goalkeeper. Just saying. And that's something, and we've been like that for a while. Slot took Kop's heavy metal football and turned it into pop. It's gone pop. I'm only Raya so bored he took a walkabout against. He did exactly that. I'm worried for the guy. I swear he's going to do something mental.
Atletico Madrid had one shot on target. Olympiacos, three.
Yeah. But that is, yeah. But that was another game that never really looked like we were anywhere near losing. Do you know what I mean? It's what was their XG in that game was 0.5. Yes, it's not really. That's one of the few games this season we've underperformed our XG. I know people hate XG, but it's just an interesting way of seeing if we're doing better than we should be or worse. Raya should get permission to take a laptop. Do you know what would be the best thing if I did a watch along and Raya was in the chat section? Because I haven't seen a ball in 15 minutes. Fucking tell me.
Especially if he came onto the screen as well.
Yeah.
So look,
hey, look, say hello to the fans.
Yeah.
Put his mobile out going, tell me a story. I'm bored as fuckeries here. Or he's on there, because, when before the start of the first half, they always do the Domino's pizza advert. Get your order in for fucking. He must be getting his order in for the 30 minute mark. He's having a pizza on the pitch.
yeah, table and chair there.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Rate my takeaway. Raya, remote work expert. I just love it. Oh, fucking hell. Raya start a live stream on Twitch on the pitch. It's like Raya's an outfield player, not a goalkeeper. He's going to have to be, isn't he? He's just so bored, isn't he? He's just bored. He's like, I want to do what they're all doing. They're all kicking it. Let me kick it, boss. God, there's been some brilliant comments. I've loved that. I'm going to need to take another quick comfort break. Zanzi, will you please keep them amused?
Okay. Well, I've taken all my clothes off now, so you can have a laugh. No, I haven't really. It'd be too cold to doing that. So, what is everyone's prediction for the game against Brighton? And are we going to win it? And who's going to be playing for us? Oh, it's BX, mate. It's hanging. But how are you hanging at the moment in sunny wherever you are? It's good here, mate. But I'm not hanging that much.
I heard you with your clothes off. Get them back on at once. It's far too seductive. We're going to have a show on Tuesday. We can properly go through the predictions for Wednesday. I'm dreading it. Genuinely dreading it. It could not be a worse game for me, could it? Married into a Brighton family. Really like Brighton as well. It's funny, every time Danny Welbeck scores, I always go, you're welcome. You're welcome. And the missus always goes, well, yeah, you've got Trossard. I was like, yeah, but you're welcome. I love Danny Welbeck. Right, so we've got 3-0 we'll win. I think massive changes to the lineup. Yeah, you'd have to expect that. Hincapié, Miles Lewis. Mind you, massive. He's been rotating. Probably, I don't know. I mean, it's a good chance to rest Saliba, Saka, Rice.
Timber.
I don't know if he's going to rest Timber. I don't know if he can. And also, Timber is he's not actually a human being, so he doesn't.
No, he's indestructible, isn't
he? Was that the best moment of the day for you when he had the 4 players on him?
Yeah.
No. Like, I mean,
and literally the only way they could get the ball was to foul him.
It's literally flying on him. So what I was thinking was how funny it would be if just more and more players went towards him. He's just like, at some point, he's got all 10 outfield players trying to get the ball off him, and he just dinks it over the top to someone. No, it's just Timber is unfellable. Zanzi is confirmed an automaton, never has to take a comfort break. It's true that, mind you, we don't know that he might be sitting on a commode. So, and also, I don't usually, but I have had a litre of Diet 7-Up. So this was sponsored by 7-Up Zero. It's probably killing me.
I haven't really done much anyway, so.
I've enjoyed this a lot. I thought I would, but to be honest with you, it's just calm now, isn't it? So everyone just calm, stay calm, bottle up all the happiness. Let's just go one game at a time. Great. We're not experiencing a lot of nervous games. We're not jittery. I can't remember the last time I was seriously worried about the outcome of a game. I think Liverpool away in the last 10 minutes, obviously after they'd scored, it was a bit Man City until Martinelli scored what will probably be my favourite goal this season. I think we're winning all our games 3-0. Teams will do well to keep us to 1-0. I hope that's right. There are going to be some. I mean, looking ahead, however much bravado you put on it, come the 22nd of November when we're playing Spurs at home, if we've picked up 6 points from Burnley and Sunderland, we'll probably still be 6, 7, 8, 9 points clear of the other 2 main title rivals, but you still will feel nervous in that game. And now so much riding on it. It doesn't matter if you win the league or not. It matters that you beat Tottenham. It will always be that way. It can never be any different. And at least it's at home. Playing Tottenham at the Emirates is a whole different kettle of fish to playing them at 3 Point Lane. All right, not recently. We've done quite well there, but last 2 seasons anyway. But nervousness will soon come. We've had some subscribers today. I just want to say thank you if you're new here and you subscribed. I hope that we can count on you to come and chat again. We've had some new chats in there. Brilliant to see you. Lone Star Londoner. Some absolute choice. I've got Malia calling us the Not So Chuckle Brothers, but, don't know now. Charles talking about how some of our fans expect it to be 4-0 all the time. It just doesn't work like that, which is balanced, intelligent. You shouldn't have to say things like that, but I totally agree with you and I take your point. Some of these Arsenal channels are angrier than a one-legged waitress at IHOP. It's got to be the quote of the day, hasn't it?
I don't know. Looking at all these ones you got down here.
Can you see the section with starred? Do you get access to that? Yeah. Can you star them yourself, or is it just me that gets to star them?
Only you can, I think. I can't do anything.
I disagree. I think you're amazing. Nuno has Spurs thinking they are someone again. Nuno.
Huh?
I think I'm almost certain he must mean Thomas the Frank Engine. Into every life a little rain must fall. Mine was Mickey van der Ven on the fucking bench. 23 points I left on the bench. That shouldn't be possible. Stupid bloody game. So I'm going to go to you for your last words, Zanzi.
We're talking about Van der Ven and Arsenal only score from set pieces. Well, both of Spurs' first goals were set pieces, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mickey van der Ven headers, both of them.
And the when Everton scored was disallowed, that was from a set piece. Set piece is only worth complaining about if it's Arsenal scoring them. Did you not know that? You've got to be Arsenal as shit. Oh, I've only just looked as well. Chris, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if you are, keep a low profile, because how have you got a 70-point week? Oh, how's that even possible? You don't have a bench boost, you little bastard. I would have, that's where I would be. In the well, don't you worry, I'm going to, by the time I play bench boost, I'll probably get 4 points off the bench. Anyway.
I've got a clue what you're on about. I know it's fantasy football, but...
Right. So basically, you pick players for your team. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, these are Chris's. Chris Nicks. See, on the bench, he didn't play Mickey van der Ven. So I didn't play him either. So those 23 points wouldn't count towards this total.
Yeah.
But he played that you get these wild cards you can play, and one of them is bench boost, which means that for 1 week only, everyone on your bench scores points. And he fucking played it with Van der Ven on the bench. And I didn't play it. So I got 35 points or 38 points, whatever it was. And he got 70 points. And he's already fucking miles better than me. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Brian. Frank, too much drinks. It's been a great weekend for it, and I hope you're enjoying them, mate. But we understood you anyway. So, Zanzi, to the last words, please. He's talking some dank FPL esoterica. I like it.
Everyone in chat has been absolutely outstanding today. It's been really emotional. It's been a great weekend. Dan, you are Mr. Flat Cap. You should be riding the streets on a horse and cart with a load of coal in the back.
Oh, it's all right for the ones that keep their cameras off, innit? You don't have bad hair days. Look at me go.
Oh my God! Yeah,
that's why the cap goes on. If I can just...
I do have bad hair days because I haven't cut my hair for bloody ages now. I feel like a hippie. I say feeling like it's about a centimetre long.
This is
that's bad for me.
This is, you know what they've started doing. I don't know if you were aware of this, but Anthony mentioned a little while ago that he loves hearing my WhatsApp go off when he pings me. So he sends me, and they try and corpse me as well. This is what you have to deal with, isn't it? All right, let's do this. Yeah. No, I can't do it. I can't share it. Well, I'll stick it. He sent me his picture of Razor Ruddock, and it does look horrifyingly like me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Apparently I'm Oscar the Grouch, so I'll take that. Or Snuffleupagus, I'll take that. But yes, sorry, I interrupted your touching and moving last words.
I'd finished you as being a Coleman.
Okay, well, if that's the end,
that's it.
That's the end you want to go out on, son. Can't wait. What's a good... Do you know what? If we get 6 points against Sunderland and Burnley, the cigar's coming out. That's that. I promise myself.
I'm just wondering what you're actually going to do with the tube. I mean, is it going to be like your new pit stick?
It's a bit big.
Yes, yeah, but it's a bit more insertable.
I've been warned again. Never put anything in there that's no. No.
And if you had, you wouldn't be sniffing it like that.
No, I fucking certainly wouldn't. But it's funny you ask, because you say, what would you do in joking? Well, that was never an option, just to be clear. But for years, I just assumed it was empty, because I wouldn't have just kept that lying around. It's quite a good cigar, that. And it was only when I lifted it up and it rattled, I went, what have I put in there then? And I was like, oh, it's a fucking cigar. It's a proper Cuban cigar. I really can't wait to smoke that, but I just don't want to. It's a fairly expensive one, so I just don't want to.
You put it in the wrong way.
I know, I just noticed It's a fairly expensive one, so I don't really want to. Well, fairly expensive. Yeah.
What you never do with a Cuban cigar, because you get these prats who pick up a Cuban cigar and they roll it in their fingers and go, "Oh yeah, it sounds really good." If you do that, you break it.
Yeah, just delicate little beasts, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I've smoked a fair few. I'm no kind of fumador or a connoisseur of cigars, but a nice cognac and a nice cigar. That's how you end an evening, isn't it, sir?
I used to like the little cafe crams.
Yeah, I went through a phase of them when I gave up smoking. I was smoking like 10 a day. It's like, are you sure you've given up smoking? Oh, yeah. You don't inhale these.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you seem to be. Oh, yes, I am. Silly me. Jose's said, I believe I have one cigar pick in my lifetime. Oh, man. It used to be a thing where pretentious people we used to drink a lot of whiskey and smoke a lot of cigars playing poker. And I miss it. But obviously my health is better, I think. Anyway. But listen, before I start waffling on about poker, cigars, and cognac, we are.
But I actually say I'd prefer a cigar with a nice vintage port.
That's something I haven't tried enough of. I think a nice vintage port should be on my list of must tries.
There's, port is really funny because if you get a crappy port and you drink it burns as it goes down your throat.
Yeah.
If you get a vintage port, a really good one, you drink it. What you do is it's almost like someone's got a hot blanket and they're just slowly rubbing it down your neck. It's gorgeous.
No, I will try. I mean, it's like lots of things, though. I mean, you don't know how, if you've never had a good scotch, if you've never had the good stuff is the good stuff for a reason. This Christmas, perhaps I will get your opinion on what I should try for a good port. Because I have 2 weeks off of work. I intend to be doing very little, but lots of eating, drinking, live streaming, spending time with a beautiful family, and watching God knows what on television. But it's going to be fantastic, and hopefully we'll be top of the league by then, and perhaps the league will already be won by then. We can but dream, and must dare to dream now. Zanzi, thank you for joining me up here and being your amazing self. To all the people who make this show what it is in the chat, and the newcomers who have subscribed, I promise to never make it feel like a bad decision. And special thanks, of course, to Rosie, without whom none of this is possible. The greatest mod in the business. So to all of you regulars, all my love. Until I see you on Tuesday, be lucky. Lots of love.